facilitate that comeback.
So we'll see here as they go from the I formation right away. Murphy rolling out, being chased from behind, looking downfield. He'll lower his head, and he will get out to right around the 25-yard line. A nice pickup right there, or sorry, out to the 35-yard line, I should say. Pick up a 5 there on first down. Let's take a moment to take a look here at our Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing keys to the game.
Gain of 5 yards on the play. Second down and 5.
Yeah, we came up with 3 keys real quick here. The Dons need to find a way to score on Springville's defense. Springville's had a traditionally tough defense. Also, we mentioned Clayton Johnson, number 7. They got to slow him down, and then also they got to limit their mental mistakes tonight. If they do those 3 things, they have a good opportunity to come out with a victory.
It'll be Peyton Murphy on the quarterback keeper there on the draw play. He gets close to the 40-yard line. He'll get about the 39.5 to set up a 3rd and 1. Murphy last week had 11 carries for 52 yards for Springville, who, when we got off the air last week from Maple Mountain, Springville was trailing Dixie, and it kind of looked like the Flyers might pull an early season upset in the classification ahead of them. I formation set. Murphy straight ahead. Can he get enough of a push there?
I don't know if he did, but they're giving him a very good spot.
The official to the bottom of your screen, a little bit of a more favorable spot than it appeared from the other side of the field. That's going to be enough for a Springville first down.
I don't know if he got there, but so far we've had 3 Peyton Murphy runs in this game.
And that was one big strength of the Springville team, was bringing back 4 starters from last year's offensive line. And so Spanish Fork, that defensive line for the Dons tonight, is going to be kept very busy with the ability right now of this offensive line to control the running game. Here's the first carry up the middle of the night for number 36, and that is Tyler Kelly. And Kelly will get a couple there on 1st and 10.
And Spanish Fork's run defense has been suspect in the past, but so far up the middle, it seems like they've done a great job when Springville's tried that. Now, the question is, can they hold the perimeter tonight?
Bubba Rupena, Blaine Bradford, the starting defensive tackles for Spanish Fork, going to be kept very busy with that straight-ahead running game. Springville here will pull it out here and go with the spread. We'll see Carter, number 47, Carter Johnston, come into the fullback, and we're going to have a penalty flag.
It's a legal substitution.
The first time tonight that we have the penalty there.
Yeah, and usually in these early games and in high school games in general, there is a lot of penalties, I've noticed. So, you know, a team that doesn't have them can have a huge advantage in field position.
A relatively quiet night last week, especially in that first half at Maple Mountain, as Murphy will go back to throw, taking a look over the middle, has a man that is caught to Hillstead, who's got some room, and he will go the distance. The 20, the 10, the 5, touchdown Springville. It was Murphy there to Trey Hillstead, and just like that, Springville's on the board, 6-0.
Yeah, it looked like Hillstead just ran a short post or slant pattern that time over the middle and was wide open. And we can see here on the replays, he gets that 59-yard touchdown catch.
And he got out in the open space, Chris, and he just went to a whole nother level. And Springville here an early opportunity to try to see if they can go up 7-0 here on their first offensive drive of the ball game. The extra point looks good from here, and it's through. And with 9:21 to go in the first quarter, Springville has jumped out to a 7-0 lead on the touchdown pass from Peyton Murphy, his 3rd of the season, to Trey Hillstead. And now if you're Spanish Fork, the tough part is, Chris, your offense is taking the field and you're trailing already 7-0, and your offense struggled last week against Ridgeline.
Yeah, they're going to have to, if anything, at least get a couple first downs to get that, let the defense rest. I think for Spanish Fork, though, the key tonight is to figure out what your offensive identity is and how you can put points on the board this season. Last year's game was a shootout with Springville winning 32-29. With that early start, we might have a shootout tonight as well.
We'll take a look here as we'll get a chance to look for the first time tonight here for Spanish Fork. Back deep to receive the kick for the Dons, it will be number 22, Dallas Ayera. And to the top of your screen will be number 12, it looks like Jacob Moore, back deep to receive the kick here for Spanish Fork.
And we'll see if Springville kicks it deep, or was surprised Spanish Fork with Red's leg that they didn't try and kick it out of the end zone on their first kickoff.
Brody Taylor will do the kick here for the Red Devils.
Number 22, Dallas Iyer.
Iera and Moore back deep, standing at their own 5 as Taylor puts a foot into this one, and this one will go through the end zone and will bring it down to the 20-yard line here for Spanish Fork. And that's a nice sign there if you're Springville, because that's an extra defender almost if you can consistently kick that one into the end zone if you're Brody Taylor.
Yeah, Brody Taylor showed that he had a strong leg. There was no question that thing was going through the back of the end zone. And remember, at the high school level, if you touch the ball and you're anywhere in the end zone, it's a dead ball, so you can't return it.
Parker Swenson, the new quarterback this year for Spanish Fork, takes over for Carson Chappell. Swenson, the backup the last couple of years for Spanish Fork, will throw on the first down, steps up, looking to roll, looking down the field. He's going to throw at the last minute, incomplete, looking to get it to number 3, Trey Lofton. It looked like he might have been able to, Chris, there to make an extra move and at least get some positive yards.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to turn the corner and get out of bounds for 2 or 3 yards. Instead, he just throws it away. So well, he did avoid getting hit, and I don't think there was going to be a whole lot of yardage there.
It'll be 2nd and 10 for Spanish Fork from their own 20. The Dons going from the pistol formation with Kimball Morley in the backfield. He'll get the call. Here's Morley, cuts into the secondary, lowers his helmet. He'll have enough for a first down. A pick up about 11 and a half, maybe 12, and a first down for Spanish Fork out across the 30-yard line. Those are the kind of runs you need right now if you're offensive coordinators Jake Brandon and J.R.
They're
Brandon.
going to go no huddle here, but great job running off tackle there, showing great patience and good blocking by the offensive line.
1st and 10 from the 33-yard line of Spanish Fork. Swenson back to throw now. We'll just drop it off here to Morley out of the backfield. Makes one man miss, picks up a block, has some room in front of him. To the 40, to the 35, brought down at the Springville about 31-yard line. A key block there in the backfield. A Lance Wilson State Farm assist there on that block in the backfield there. They're really sprung him free there about 5 yards after the catch.
Yeah, and that was a great cut by Morley to go right off that block that you mentioned and get downfield. And once he gets ahead of steam, he's a very fast individual.
1st down and 10 from, they'll give him the 29-yard line of Springville. And straight ahead it will be Swenson. He'll pull it out, and he'll be brought down as it will be Austin Mortensen, number 2, coming up from his cornerback position to make the tackle. And so right there, I don't think any gain. He might have lost a half yard there on first down.
A great job by Springville's defense as they had everybody playing disciplined defense. Everybody took the guy they were supposed to. And that play was dead for the offside. It wouldn't have mattered if he handed it off or not.
2nd down and 10 coming up for Spanish Fork. 8:05 to play here in the first quarter. 7-0 Springville. The Red Devils scoring on their opening drive. Spanish Fork trying to answer. Swenson rolls out looking, being pressured from behind, looking downfield, has a man, and that's going to be caught complete inside the 20. And it was Noah Conway, number 8, the senior wide receiver, who may be one of the biggest impact guys, Chris, coming back this year for Spanish Fork.
Yeah, Noah Conway's done everything for Spanish Fork. He played quarterback as a sophomore a little bit, has done a lot in the special teams game, so he's probably going to have a huge season for the Dons, and had a huge catch on that play in traffic, and great job by Parker Swenson threading the needle on that play.
1st and 10 from the 17. Spanish Fork now inside the Prime Mortgage Lending red zone here, trying to get it in here as they go up the middle with, it was Marco Williams, the senior running back, on the carry, and he gets maybe back to the line of scrimmage. The first time we've seen the Dons in the red zone, and these are the situations, Chris, where they really need to find a way to come out with points.
Yeah, they do, and whether it's 3 or 7, but I think if they're going to go for a field goal, they might want to get a little closer. But the option has not worked for the Dons early on.
2 backs in there with Williams and Kimball Morley for Spanish Fork. Swenson back to throw, wanted to take a shot, now pulls it down, throws at the last minute, one-on-one coverage, has a man out there at the 1. I believe it was Iera who tried to stretch for the goal line but came up short. Instead, it will be 1st and goal from the 1, and this is the kind of possession there, but that's a dangerous pass there thrown by Parker Swenson.
Yeah, rule number 1, don't throw across the middle, across your body, but Springville was going with one-on-one coverage. There was no safety. Iera made the play. I thought he was in the end zone when he caught it, but he must have just been outside.
Bubba Rupena checking in as a blocking back. Ben Boyack, the deep back here for Spanish Fork, and now we're going to have a penalty flag fly, and I would think with where that came in, some kind of procedure call, probably against the Dons.
And that's tough. If you get clear down to the 1, you have 4 opportunities to punch it in, and instead you move yourself back 5 yards, unless it's on the the Devils.
Take a look, some discussion here going between the two officials, and now we'll get our head referee here in the white hat to make the call. Substitution, it looks like infraction against Spanish Fork. We've seen both teams with that early on here. And instead of that 1st and goal now from the 1, Chris, you're 1st and goal from the 6, and that kind of changes your play call a little bit.
Yeah, but it also opens up a little more opportunity to throw the ball, so it's maybe not the end of the world, but at the same point, you would rather just try and punch it in from the 1. Look who's in the backfield, 44. Bubba Rupena.
Boyack joins him in the backfield. 3 wide receivers here on the place. Give goes to Boyack up the middle. Boyack, I think, gets back to the line of scrimmage there. No gain on 1st down for Spanish Fork. We'll bring up 2nd and goal from the 6.
And I think maybe they might want to roll out maybe to the right here, open up some opportunities for the pass run option.
2nd and goal here from the 6. We've seen some different backs come in there. Parker Swenson directing traffic there as he gets a play call out to the wide receivers. 3 here on the field right now. Dakota Conway to the bottom of your screen. And now it looks like somebody jumps, and early indications show offsides against Springville.
Good ball foul, offsides against Springville.
The nice thing is here, those 5 yards you lose earlier, Chris, now it kind of balances out. You get those 5 back.
Well, it's half a distance to the goal, so unfortunately they get 3 yards. But still a little closer without having to hike the ball. It's early, Ryan. Don't hit yourself on the head.
Early season. 2nd and goal from the 3 here for Spanish Fork. They still get some of those yards back, as it's going to be Boyack up the middle, and he's again pulled down from behind. Coming from the opposite side was number 20. I believe that was Isaiah Webb from his linebacker spot. Just came in untouched there, Chris, and it was just a chase and tackle situation right there for Webb.
Great job by Isaiah Webb, but the thing is, those Springville linebackers are hitting the gaps very quickly. Spanish Fork needs to do a little better job of holding those blocks.
3rd down and goal from the 3. Big play early on here for Spanish Fork, trying to find a way to get it in. 3 wide receivers, Swenson ready to go, and a penalty flag will fly here.
Another dead ball foul.
Penalty flag flying right here, as we'll get a false start against Spanish Fork, and the Dons will be backed up 5.
Remains 3rd down and goal.
So there's Dons once again. One of our keys was to limit the mistakes, and they haven't been doing that on this possession. Looks like they'll spread the ball out here, 4 wide.
Swenson by himself here.
For him to roll.
Ready to go, Morley the back. Pressure comes. Swenson rolls out to the right. Morley open in the flat, trying to go towards the end zone. Throws to the last minute, batted away. Coming in, diving across there. Believe was number 10 coming in. Alejandro Quezada, I believe, the one there diving across there to knock that one away.
Yeah, I didn't see who did it, but there were 2 Dons receivers in the area, and they great play by I think he came from his linebacker position, number 10. Quezada to knock away that pass, and Dons will have to settle for a field goal attempt.
Going to attempt the field goal, number 39, Spencer Red, holding for the Dons, number 8, Noah Conway.
So fourth down here. Spencer Red's field goal is up. It looks good from here, and it's through. And Spanish Fork finds a way to take advantage here of getting in the red zone and scoring. And with 4:53 to go in the first quarter, Springville leading Spanish Fork by a score of 7-3. Here, as we've taken a look here, we've seen the drives. Let's take a moment here to thank our sponsors for making this broadcast possible each and every Friday night here on Spanish Fork 17.
Yeah, we've got this year Tony Biasso Auto Group, Prime Mortgage Lending, Lance Wilson State Farm Insurance, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Mikkel Christiansen Wise Attorneys at Law, MVP Sports, and Two Jacks Pizza. We thank these sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Also, you can watch this game on YouTube or on the Spanish Fork Community Network website, and you can stream or watch it afterwards on YouTube as well. So pretty awesome services we have here at Spanish Fork Cable.
So it'll be exciting here. Another exciting one coming up next week. Maple Mountain, Spanish Fork. Should be a fun one. The Dons will have their home opener at Crosstown Rivalry. It should be a fun week next Friday night. That will be a 7 o'clock kickoff over from Spanish Fork. And we're about set and ready to go. Spencer Red to put a foot into it from the 40-yard line here for the Dons. And this one again going to be rather short. I believe it's Mortensen from the 15-yard line. Finds a way to get into the middle, but then he's brought down across the 32-yard line. And right there, Springville will come out looking to start their second drive of the ball game. And they didn't really take too long as they found a way to get a big play that ended up in 6.
Yeah, and it was just a simple pattern over the middle. Huge run that time by Hillstead. But did you see who made the tackle on that last kick? It was the kicker. Got to give a shout out to Spencer Red for making the tackle.
So first down and 10, ball on the 33-yard line. Here's the give up the middle, and that is going to be Kelly on the carry. Tyler Kelly there getting back to the line of scrimmage there. Sorry, he gained a yard there on first down. Bring up second down and 9 coming up here for Springville. 4:24 to go first quarter. Red Devils leading 7-3.
And Springville's very patient in their offense. They've always ran a lot of I formation like they're lined up today. It
will be second down and 9. Here's the pitch going to the outside, and it's going to be Tyler Kelly again on the carry, and Kelly gets out across the 40. Boy, he's going to get close to that marker
about 1
right
yard
there.
shorter. Are they going to give it to him? I didn't think he got as far as he did, but we had the entire Springville team in front of us.
The official on the far side of the field was right on the marker, but he'll actually move about a half yard shy. And it will bring up a third down and about 1.
Oh, they're giving him the first.
Last I saw, they were changing it to third down. So it's going to be 1st and 10 Red Devils with 3:50 to go in the first quarter.
Should have measured it. No, it's too early for measurements.
Kelly again, the deep back in the backfield. Johnston, the fullback, and it will be Tyler Kelly again straight ahead. Into the middle, the ball is loose. Spanish Fork says they have it. And Dons are all pointing their direction. That could be a big turnover, and it's going to be Spanish Fork football.
Number 12 came up with it. Wow, Jacob Moore. That was quite the pile and quite the momentum-changing player. Spanish Fork trailing by 4 gets the ball in plus territory here.
And a big opportunity there as we get a Mikkel Christiansen and Wise Attorneys at Law. Great defensive play there for Jacob Moore coming up with the fumble recovery. Now an opportunity to get the Spanish Fork offense right back out onto the field. And we'll see what Parker Swenson can do here with his second drive of the ballgame. Some adjustments when you're a new starting quarterback. We've seen it the last few years with Carson Chappell. Kind of took a few games before he really came into his own.
Yeah. And the one thing I've noticed is it looks like Swenson likes to go to his right, and Springville's blitzing that way.
Steps up and completes that one out there to number 8. That is going to be Noah Conway, and Conway will pick up a good 7 or 8 there on first down.
Yeah, Conway just ran a simple pattern there, and he's such a strong guy and does a great job of going back to the ball. That's how he got the reception there on that little hook pattern, and it takes multiple guys to bring him down for sure.
It's going to be second down and 2 for Spanish Fork. Kimball Morley checks back in. A couple of nice runs from Morley on that first possession for Spanish Fork. 2:51 to go here in the first quarter. Swenson back to throw. with some time, goes back to the left side, throws it behind Morley, but he makes the catch with some green in front of him. Down to the 20, to the 10, to the 5, looking for the end zone. Touchdown, Spanish Fork, but they're going to say he stepped out back at the 9, and there's a penalty flag down on the field. So this one's coming back. What would have been a 39-yard touchdown strike, Chris, turns into a penalty and maybe a few yards.
Man, wow, huge play. We'll see where they get the ball at. They should get a first down out of this. However, wow, what agility to reach back and catch that ball without stopping by Morley that time. I mean, he had to reach down like an infielder to get it, but he was running the wrong direction.
A few feet to the other side there. That one's behind Morley and incomplete.
Yeah.
But right now, if you're Springville defensive coordinator Dave Valetti, you'll take that any day, because really Spanish Fork bailed your defense out.
Yeah, absolutely, with the penalty that time.
1st and 10 back at the 25, so the Dons do get a first down out of the deal, but it will be 1st and 10 from the 25 with 4 wide receivers. Parker Swenson back to throw over the middle, has Dallas Iera inside the 10. He's down to about the 6-yard line, and there's that one-on-one coverage. We're seeing Springville, Chris, very comfortable playing one-on-one.
Yeah, they've always done that, and Iera just beat his man, got in between his man and the safety, and Swenson hits him right on stride, and that's a dangerous pass when you throw across the middle if it gets tipped and not caught.
Springville jumping right there, number 14, I believe that was Garrison Caswell, the junior linebacker, just jumping there, getting off to a little eager right there. And it'll be, looks like they'll make it 1st and about goal from the 4-yard line or so here for Spanish Fork.
And I'd continue to let Swenson throw the ball here. He's looking very comfortable.
Swenson, play action, rolls out, being chased, and he will be dropped back at about the 19-yard line.
And Webb got to him there that time, and yeah, he keeps rolling out to his right, and Springville is keen on that.
Isaiah Webb, the linebacker, getting there. The second time we've seen Webb really break up a play. The thing that's tough there is it's about a 12-yard loss for Spanish Fork, makes it 2nd and goal from the 16. And this is where you want to make sure, Chris, you're getting touchdowns when you get inside the red zone instead of field goals. And Kimball Morley breaks free, and he'll take care of that for a Spanish Fork touchdown, no flags. And the Dons will take a 9-7 lead with 1:42 to play here in the first quarter.
Yeah, they caught Springville blitzing that time with the draw play, and Morley does a great job of getting past the first wave, and there was not a second wave as they were going out in an all-out blitz.
Spencer Red on for the field goal, so Spanish Fork 2 of 2 tonight when they get inside the Prime Mortgage Lending red zone. As we'll see Noah Conway on the field. Spencer Red split out. We'll see kind of that swinging gate look that you see. And Conway now looking. We're going to have, it looks like either a timeout or a delay of game. And it looks like we'll have a timeout, Spanish Fork. The Dons want to talk about it with 1:42 to play in the first quarter. Chris, when you take a look at this, what have you seen so far here in the first about 10 minutes and 22 seconds?
Well, from Springville's side, I've been very impressed with their interior run defense, and then outside of that fumble, they've moved the ball well through the air. For Spanish Fork, I think their run defense looks a little better so far in this early season, and Parker Swenson looks very comfortable, especially when he rolls out to his right, but we're noticing that Springville's starting to key out on that, and so they've made some adjustments. We'll have to see if Swenson can make some adjustments as well, but both teams looking pretty good tonight.
1:42 to go here in the first quarter, a 9-7 lead. A first quarter of offense here on Spanish Fork 17. Some big exciting plays as we'll see Spencer Red come on here for the point after touchdown try. Noah Conway will be set to hold here for the Dons. As the kick is on its way and Spencer Red puts it through.
There's got to be a penalty. They ran into the holder, but no call.
And so with 1:42 to go in the first, Spanish Fork takes a 10-7 lead here on Springville. Let's take a moment here on Spanish Fork 17. Let's thank our sponsors for making broadcasts possible each and every Friday night here on Spanish Fork 17. We have the Tony Basso Auto Group, Lance Wilson State Farm Insurance, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Two Jacks Pizza, Mikkel Christiansen Wise Attorneys at Law, and Prime Mortgage Lending. We also have MVP Sports, as we thank everybody for making it possible here. MVP Sports, of course, Chris, I don't know if you've heard about it. You live down there in Spanish Fork, but the new pickleball courts opening up, you can get all your pickleball gear at MVP Sports.
Oh.
So once those courts open up, which I believe I was told last week they're hoping for sometime here in the fall, which might be good. Get out, play some pickleball before, the winter weather sets in.
Well, Ryan, I want to challenge you right now. Pickleball, me, you. Let's get our gear at MVP Sports. I'll see you on the court.
Ooh, there we go. That could be kind of
the gauntlet's been thrown down.
That could be kind of a fun here. We'll have to maybe broadcast that on SFCN. As Spencer Red puts a foot into it, it'll be Austin Mortensen from about the 8-yard line, out across the 20 to the 25, and he'll be brought down across the 30 to the 31-yard line, where the Springville offense will come out to start their most recent possession. And Chris, their last drive, it would end up being a turnover, but we saw that first drive, an offense that was willing to be, I think you described it as very patient, and that's the tough part with Springville. They've really found a way in the times you and I have seen them over the last 3 or 4 years. They just wear you down over and throughout the ball game, too, where that fourth quarter, your hands are on your hips and you're tired.
Yeah, and they do that, and they've won a lot of ball games over the last 4 or 5 seasons as well in doing that. And, I guess you can go all the way back to when Scott Mitchell was coaching. Recently, this has been a very tough ball club.
Peyton Murphy going to throw one-on-one, looking for Johnson out there just beyond the reach of Clayton Johnson. We talked about him in the open. We wondered if we would see Caleb Lundquist there on Clayton Johnson. It has been Kimball Peterman, the 5'10 senior, getting that matchup there, and Peterman was beat there by a half a step. And with Clayton Johnson, Chris, that's a dangerous combination right there.
Yeah, we'd be calling a touchdown right now if that ball would have been thrown about 6-7 inches back towards him. That was close.
Instead, it will be 2nd down and 10 coming up here for Springville. Isaiah Webb checks in at tailback. They'll give it up the middle. Believe there to Carter Johnston, the fullback. And Johnston last week had 6 carries for 43 yards for Springville. And right there, a gain of a couple there on second down for Johnson. It's 3rd and 8.
Yeah, Bubba Rapena just wrapped him up. I think he tackled the whole line there. He was very pumped up about that. He's been playing for a long time. It's exciting to see some of these guys that were underclassmen be seniors and performing well.
3rd down and 8, 54 seconds to go in the quarter. I formation set. Under center, ready to go. Murphy back to throw. 3-step drop, looking for Johnson on the out route. There against Lundquist. It's batted down, incomplete. Right there, a lot of contact there between Johnson and Lundquist, but there, Caleb Lundquist wins the battle.
Yeah, and I like the no call in that situation because it wasn't just one guy. It was both guys going at it that time. Johnson was fighting for position, kind of boxing him out, and Lundquist was just trying to make a play on the ball, so Springville will be forced into a punting situation.
It'll be Brody Taylor to punt for Springville, and Dallas Ayera back deep at about his own 28-yard line here for the Dons. 41 seconds to go here in the first quarter. And there's a high snap, and Taylor gets the punt off from the 20-yard line, kicks it away from Ayera, and he will field it there on a couple of bounces and then be immediately dropped in special teams, as it was number 1, David Pilcher, getting there on the tackle. Dangerous to pick it up when that ball bounces right there, but right there it works out for Spanish Fork, and they'll have decent field position to start their second drive.
Yeah, great job on the secondary or on the coverage that time by Springville. But like you mentioned, Ayera, if he's going to pick it up, he might want to pick it up a little sooner and not let the coverage get down there. Very dangerous play.
So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 23 here for Spanish Fork as the sun begins to set here, and it starts to cool off a little bit here at Springville High School tonight for week 2 of the high school football season. Noah Conway goes in motion. Here's the give to Ayera, and he's going to be dropped, and he might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage there, and that will bring up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, I believe Isaiah Webb was the guy to meet him first. He's having himself a heck of a ball game.
There's Marco Williams there on the carry there for Spanish Fork, and I think that might be the final play of the first quarter here from Springville. We'll see. and Spanish Fork's going to be content to not snap it until the start of the next quarter. We've reached the end of one here from Springville. It's Spanish Fork 10, the Springville Red Devils 7. You're watching high school football here on Spanish Fork 17.
Hi, welcome to 2 Jack's Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to 2 Jack's Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork, or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet? MVP Sports is the #1 source for sporting goods in Spanish Fork. Football, soccer, all the fall sports, we've got you covered. Check out our new custom t-shirt builder. Design at home and we'll build it for you. MVP Sports, 72 North Main in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Need a new car or truck? The Car Guys has the best selection of used vehicles at the best prices in Spanish Fork. The Car Guys know their automobiles to get you the best car for your needs and your budget. The Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
Start of the second quarter here from Springville High School. Spanish Fork leading Springville by a score of 10-7. The Dons take advantage of a turnover there, and now Parker Swenson throws over the middle, has a man out there. It's going to go incomplete, looking for Noah Conway. I think Conway was looking for the flag there, but that may have gotten into that idea there of uncatchable.
Yeah, that ball was definitely uncatchable that time, and Noah Conway was just accused by a fan of being a soccer player with that flop.
It'll be 3rd down and 10 from the 23-yard line. So Parker Swenson has been comfortable getting outside the pocket, definitely has the arm strength right now for the Dons. Swenson back to throw, puts it down, rolls away from Kalomalu, looks over the middle, has a man, throws it short, but
it's the ground.
Conway couldn't get his hand underneath it. It'll bring up 4th down, and Spanish Fork will have to punt here to 3 plays into the second quarter.
That was a quick 3 and out. Didn't get a single yard. Took off about, 40 seconds off the clock, and have to punt it back to Springville.
And so we'll see here for the first time the punting unit with number 10, Caden Holt, to go back to punt. Back deep to receive. It's going to be Austin Mortensen and Jaden Church. Keep an eye on Jaden Church at the bottom of your screen.
And knuckleball punt.
And they'll both skid away from it, and it will be downed by the Dons right around
36.
Should be about the 30. They'll walk it back to about the 36, 37, and it will be the 36. That'll be 1st and 10 for Springville. The Red Devils offense tonight, Chris, has been able to move the football, but it's just been kind of tough sometimes finding a way to get that much-needed first down.
Yeah, both teams have relied on the big play tonight, and that's how Springville scored their first touchdown. Was a pass from Murphy to Hillstead for 59 yards, but Springville's picked up a couple first downs here and there, but really haven't been able to sustain a drive this evening.
Straight up ahead on first down is Isaiah Webb, who gets pretty close to the first down, and I think by spot he'll have enough for a first down right here. They'll give him enough there for a first down, and Springville moves the chains on first down. Just a simple right up the middle with Webb.
And Webb is a very explosive, quick player on both sides of the ball, and he demonstrated that on that run.
First down and 10, Springville at the 46-yard line here of Springville. They'll go with 2 wide receivers and an I formation set. Here's the pitch outside to Webb, trying to get the corner, finds a way, cuts it back inside, and will pick up a good 7 or 8 down to about the 45-yard line right there of Spanish Fork, and nothing really overly tough there coming from Springville there, Chris. Just really good execution.
Yeah, great job of Webb finding a hole, attacking it, and getting as many yards as he can downfield. A lot of guys just keep pushing that to the edge, but he cut more towards the middle when he needed to.
Second down and 1 from the 45-yard line. We'll once again see that I formation. Clayton Johnson to the bottom of your screen, and they'll give it right up the middle to Webb again, who will have a first down to the 41-yard line, and Springville will move the chains again.
And Webb's been the horse on this drive as he's gotten all 3 carries, and he's picked up 2 first downs on those 3 carries.
The tough part with Springville, Chris, is if you get down, you can't get down too much to Springville. Right now, Spanish Fork with the lead, but with the way this offense can run the ball, we've seen them before have 6-7 minute drives.
Yeah, and they're already starting to wear out Spanish Fork. The Dons were doing a great job of containing the middle early on, and Springville's found some holes in that defense.
Murphy hands to Webb, straight ahead again, and Webb again close to the first down marker, Isaiah Webb. And that's the hard part, Chris, like you said, when you hold them to 1 or 2, it kind of forces the offensive coordinator to try something different. You're getting 7, 8, 9 yards to carry up the middle. You're just going to keep going.
Yeah, and if I'm Springville, I'm running away from Rapanian. It looks like that's what they've been doing.
It'll be 2nd and 1 from the 32-yard line to Spanish Fork. I formation set. Murphy now under center. Isaiah Webb, the deep back. And it's Webb straight forward again. He's brought down by Ben Boyack, the middle linebacker, but not after Springville gets another first down.
Yeah, that's, I believe, the 5th consecutive carry by Webb. I wonder if he can sustain this much action in the game because he's been making all the tackles on the other side.
A lot of these Springville guys will go both ways tonight for the Red Devils. We've seen a handful of these guys. The guy we haven't seen a ton of tonight is Jaden Church, number 6. Church, one of those big impact players. Coming into the season anyway, was projected to be that way. I formation set here, and it's going to be Murphy back to throw. Taking a shot, looking out there for Mortensen, one-on-one, back shoulder, and he couldn't reach back to make the catch. That one was thrown a little bit to the outside. A nice attempt there by Mortensen, but he came up empty.
Yeah, he does. Ball thrown outside. Had a little bit of a step. Pretty good coverage downfield, though. You can't ask your cornerbacks to do much better than that. Who was in coverage that time? I didn't see it.
I believe it was Kimball Peterman, number 28.
And he's done a great job on some of those deep balls so far tonight.
2nd down and 10, ball in the 28. I formation set here for Springville. Here's the give up the middle. Isaiah Webb has a hole again, this time down to the 20-yard line. Again, another gain of about 8 there, and that will bring up 3rd and about 2.
Yeah, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Just keep handing the ball to Webb, and that's what's been successful on this drive. The one time they went away from that, they didn't gain any positive yardage.
Really eating up a lot of that clock. Already an over 3-minute drive here for Springville, as it'll be 3rd and 2 from about the 20. I formation set under center. And here's the give up the middle to Webb. He's got the first down and more, down to about the 11. And they'll mark him down at around the 12 or so, and a first down.
And that's, I believe, the 7th carry he's had on this drive. And you can't rely on one player the whole game, but probably this drive Springville can, and they can take the lead with a touchdown here.
A lot of hands on the hips for Spanish Fork, especially up front with the defensive line. Murphy pitches this one out to Webb, looking to try to get outside, and cuts it back in the middle. Gets down to about the 9-yard line or so, so a gain of about 3, so not as explosive as what he's been averaging on the carry, but they're still able to get a good amount there on first down.
Yeah, they pick up 4 or 5 there on first down, and they still could pick up another first down inside the 2.
They'll give them 4 down to about the 8-yard line. Webb starting to show maybe some signs of fatigue here on the drive. I formation set. Here's the give. This is Brook up the middle, and Brook inside to picks up 4 there for Gavin Brook, the 5'10 senior.
And Brooks about 2 yards short here. If you're Springville, maybe if you're planning on running on 4th here, maybe you take a chance and throw the ball here on 3rd down.
With the ability to get 2 tonight, it definitely has opened up that playbook right here for Springville, I formation set. Webb once again the deep back. Murphy gives it to Webb up the middle, looking for the end zone. It's going to be close. He's in. Touchdown, Springville.
A 4-yard run by Webb that time, and he earned that touchdown as he had 9 carries and just pretty much carried the team down the field for Springville that time.
Most of his runs on that drive, picking up big chunks of 7 or 8. And now ready to go here will be Brody Taylor for the point after touchdown. The extra point for Brody Taylor is through and good. And with 6:44 to play in the first half, Springville has regained the lead at 14-10 here on Spanish Fork 17. As a back and forth contest as this was last year, and we don't expect anything different here tonight. Let's take a moment here on Spanish Fork 17 to thank our sponsors for making tonight's broadcast and our many other broadcasts possible.
And we'd like to thank these sponsors. We got Tony Biaso Auto Group, Lance Wilson State Farm Insurance, MVP Sports, Triple T Heating, Cooling and Plumbing, 2 Jacks Pizza, Mikkel Christiansen, Wise Attorneys at Law, Prime Mortgage Lending as our sponsors. And a lot of these sponsors are on Main Street, so let's support our sponsors there, or let's support our Spanish Fork Main Street. And then also you can watch these games on YouTube Spanish Fork 17 channel.
Dallas Air back for Spanish Fork.
Jacob Moore and Dallas Iera back deep here for Spanish Fork. As Brody Taylor, who just kicked the point after touchdown for Springville, will get ready to put a foot into it from the 40-yard line. Spanish Fork now has to go back on the offensive and try to see if they can regain the lead. Ready to go as Taylor approaches, and we are set and ready to go. Here's the kickoff. This one will once again go in the end zone. Jacob Moore will give it a look, but it's in the end zone. And it will bring it out to the 20-yard line for Spanish Fork's offense and Parker Swenson, who we talk about anytime, really any level of football, when you're trying to replace a quarterback, Chris, there's a lot of questions that come to it, but Parker Swenson getting into this second start, he's done some nice things tonight for Spanish Fork.
Yeah, he's thrown a lot of accurate balls and maybe thrown one ill-advised pass, and he's faced a lot of pressure tonight and has done a good job of avoiding it and finding a guy downfield. Dons have done a great job of moving the ball thus far.
Kimball Morley, the back, he'll get the screen pass here and cuts back up through the middle. And Morley's going to have a first down to about the 32-yard line right there. And once again, Morley just catches the pass, reads the defense, and finds the hole.
Yeah, Morley's done a great job, and he's got moves like Jaggers. He cuts on that play, avoids a couple of Devils there, and it picks up the first down.
First and 10 to the 32-yard line for Spanish Fork with Parker Swenson. Right now, Spanish Fork running the pistol formation. And they'll give to Kimball Morley on first down. He tries to jump it outside, looking to get the edge, and he will. He'll have another first down. He's going to be pushed out of bounds, I believe, by Carter Johnston, number 47. And there's a whistle, and it looks like a penalty flag in the backfield.
Yeah, great job of Morley swinging that ball to the outside and getting upfield, and he'll pick up the first down and get 15 yards more on there.
Right there, a penalty there for a shot to the head, a 15-yard penalty against Springville. That will be tacked on, it looks like, to the end of the run and be a first down. And those are the penalties. You talk about this maybe not being as traditional of a rivalry as we've seen in years past, with the teams not being in the same region or even the same classification, Chris, but you're still 5 minutes up the road from most of these guys.
Yeah, I live in Spanish Fork, and I didn't have to drive far to get here, that's for sure. So a lot of intensity, and a lot of these kids probably know each other from camps and those type of things.
First and 10 from the 43. Swenson pump fakes, now looks one-on-one, has his man Noah Conway at the 20, to the 10, to the 5, touchdown Spanish Fork. No penalty flags down as that one goes Swenson to Conway from 43 out, and Spanish Fork has regained the lead with 5:56 to play here in the second quarter.
Yeah, beautiful fade pattern thrown that time to Conway. He catches it and does the rest, and the Dons reclaim the lead here.
A nice job there as we get Spencer Red coming on for the point after touchdown try.
Spencer Red to attempt the extra point.
Noah Conway to hold, and the snap was good, hold was good, and Red puts it through. And Spanish Fork has regained the lead at 17-14. It's been interesting. The two teams have really seemed to find what's worked for them against the opposing defense. For Springville, it's been run right up the middle. For Spanish Fork, Chris, it's been try to beat them one-on-one deep.
Yeah, they've done that, and also they've done a lot with Morley and his athleticism. Both teams' defenses might be struggling a little bit, but I think there's been sound defense play. It's just the offense has made a little bit better play, if you will.
Both of these teams are right now slated to finish in the playoff position right now in both their regions. Springville was selected in the Deseret News poll first in Region 8, both by the coaches and by the Deseret News, to have a shot to win Region 8. That's going to be a tough task for Springville. When you take a look at Sky Ridge getting the win over Lone Peak last night, come from behind fashion, but you know, that's going to be a very tough matchup in that Region 8 game coming up on October 5th.
And I believe Springville's never lost to Sky Ridge as they beat them both times they've met. But yeah, you're right, Sky Ridge took second last year. Actually, maybe they lost to him in the playoffs.
This one will go to Mortensen from about the 10-yard line. He just got a full head of steam, gets outside, cross the 50, and he will be pushed out of bounds by Corbin Harrison, number 11, getting in there to knock him out of bounds, and that will bring up 1st and 10 for Springville. And just like that, with one special teams play and a couple of nice key blocks, Mortensen just uses the wheels and puts Springville back in striking distance here with 5:47 to play before halftime.
And that's why it's huge if your kicker can kick it out of the end zone. You eliminate any opportunity of that play happening, and that's the advantage Springville's had in this game so far.
It's going to be Murphy on the quarterback keeper. He just lowers his head, stays on his feet, and he'll be brought down around the 38-yard line, as you could hear the helmets make contact there and the shoulder pads when Peyton Murphy lowered his head there. And that's going to be a tough gain of 4 on 1st down. We see this one here on the Tony Basso Auto Group instant replay.
Boy, and both teams playing hard there, fighting for the ball, trying to make a play.
2nd down and 6 from the 38-yard line. Murphy gives it right up the middle. Here's Isaiah Webb. And Webb once again picking up about 5 to make it 3rd and 1.
Huge play here for Spanish Fork if they can slow them down, but Springville might be thinking 4-down territory here. Sometimes you see a lot of teams in this situation try and take a shot downfield.
And you have to wonder if eventually at some point you have to think they're going to test Clayton Johnson against Kimball Peterman, that matchup to the very bottom of your screen. Murphy gives it ahead. Webb is going to get close. He needed 2, but there it looks like only going to give him a half a yard or so. And now some extracurricular activities. The officials quickly stepping in there to try to break that one up, and it's going to bring up 3rd and about a yard. Or 4th and about a yard.
How is that not a penalty, though? Can you explain to me? That was definitely well after the play, and he went at his helmet a little bit there. I didn't see the number of the guy making that block, but ref's letting him play tonight a little bit.
Getting some of those emotions out here in the 2nd week of the season. Big play here for Spanish Fork's defense. 4th and 1. I formation set. Here's the pitch outside to Webb, trying to turn the corner.
He doesn't make it.
And it's going to be close, but I think he's short. He's a half a yard short by the spot, and he didn't get it.
Oh, great job of Spanish Fork's defense stepping up to the challenge and stopping Webb twice where they could not stop him on the previous drive. Great team tackling that time, too.
Mikkel Christiansen and Wise, attorneys at law. Great defensive play for Jacob Moore, disrupting the play, and then the tackle. And then in between plays, we have a penalty marker that's been thrown. We're going to get unsportsmanlike conduct against Springville here.
Unsportsmanlike conduct against Springville.
And so instead of the ball at the 34-yard line, Chris, Spanish Fork's going to get it, I believe, right around midfield. It's going to be, they'll officially call the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty here, and they'll walk it off. I believe it might even be at about the 49-yard line is where they're going to mark it.
Yeah, real close to midfield there, and with all the momentum going after that great stop and Springville's willingness to play one-on-one, I might take a shot downfield again if I'm Spanish Fork.
2 timeouts for the Dons here, and on first down it'll be Kimball Morley, who almost mishandles the snap, and he's chased down from behind by Foley there from the backside there. Just again comes untouched, Chris, into the backfield.
Yeah, and that time I think what disrupted the timing is Morley was bobbling the ball as he got it, and he had to stop for a second, which gave Fall a chance to get him.
Back to throw. Swenson sets up the screen. Here's Kimball Morley. Makes a man miss. Now cuts back to the opposite side of the field. Has a couple of blockers. Morley's chased out of bounds on the far side of the field. And that's going to be enough for a first down. And again, you're seeing that athleticism of Kimball Morley. He's tough to bring down one-on-one.
Yeah, and he makes 2 big cuts that play, which got the first down. If he doesn't make those cuts, if he's just running straight up and down, he doesn't pick up that first down, and those cuts tonight has been the difference in this ball game.
Ryland Polson, the safety, up there to knock him out of bounds, and it will be first down and 10 for Spanish Fork from the Springville 39-yard line. Under 3 minutes to play here before we reach halftime here at Springville.
Yeah, but getting back to Morley, when he plants that foot and cut, he accelerates faster than anybody else on the field, at least in this ball game that I've seen.
Swenson from the pistol, back to throw. They kind of fake the screen pass. Swenson with all day, takes a shot deep, looking for Iera in the end zone, has it for a Spanish Fork touchdown. It's Swenson to Iera from 39 out, and the Dons take a 9-point lead here in the second quarter.
Yeah, the Dons trailed 14-10, but have come back with a couple of huge touchdown catches, and Iera, just with great blocking by the line, was able to find his way into the end zone, and Swenson saw him and threw it right to him.
Parker Swenson, you have to give a Lance Wilson State Farm assist there to the offensive line of Spanish Fork for giving them all the time in the world there to throw. Without that kind of time, Chris, that touchdown doesn't happen.
Yeah, I think he did his homework in between throwing that ball and taking the snap.
Spencer Red boots the extra point through, and with 2:32 to go before halftime, Spanish Fork finds themselves up on Springville 24-14. Here as a nice offensive showing by the Dons. Chris, that was one of our Triple T heating, cooling, and plumbing keys to the game, was try to find a way to score. Well, guess what? Some offense has started.
Yeah, and I'm a little surprised because they only put up 10 points in that opener, and they've done a great job of that. And also they've done a great job of slowing down Clayton Johnson, and Springville's been the one that have been making the mental mistakes with turnovers and untimely penalties. So that's why Spanish Fork has this big 24-10 lead now. They can't sit back on their heels because Springville, like we've mentioned, they lost in the semifinals. I looked it up. It wasn't to Sky Ridge, it was to Lehigh. So they lost a heartbreaker last year there at Rice Eccles, and they'll come battling back.
There's no doubt about it. It's a long season, but the end goal for Spanish Fork and for Springville is to be both playing at Rice Eccles Stadium. And of course, the defending 4A state champion, the Orem Tigers, in the same region with Spanish Fork. That could be a fun game to decide the region championship in late October. As Spencer Red puts a foot into it, Austin Mortensen will bring it out from about the 2-yard line. He's got some green if he gets the corner here. Being chased down is Harrison. He won't get him. Mortensen, though, will run out of real estate as Spencer Red and another Don able to get there to bring him down right there. But, Chris, it looked like there for a second he was going to have some green if he got that corner.
Yeah, great pursuit that by time, and I think it was Leilula that came from the outside to finally clean that play off. Or was it 42?
Eli Davidson was the one that eventually ended up getting the tackle. So first down and 10 here for Springville. They'll have good field position at the 49. Both teams have had good field position this evening.
It's 2:20 to go here before the half. Spanish Fork will get the ball, so they can have a 10-point lead and the ball if they are able to hold Springville here.
Peyton Murphy looking to throw, rolling out, looking downfield. He'll put his head down, look towards the sideline, and Ben Boyack, I believe number 36, going to throw him to the ground here with 2:08 to play in the quarter.
Great job of with Murphy there rolling to his right and getting as many yards as possible as nobody was open downfield.
Second down and 4.
2 minutes to go here. Springville has plenty of time, but man, I'm a little surprised. I thought maybe the score would be 24-14 at this point in the other direction.
3 timeouts left here for Springville, something to keep an eye on here on the drive. Murphy gives it up the middle, and this time I believe Isaiah Webb on the carry goes nowhere. Shouldn't say that. He gets a yard or so there on on second down, but compared to his other carries, that's a pretty quiet carry.
Yeah, there was that one drive where Webb went crazy on the Don's defense, but they've shored up the run attack since that drive. They've maybe made a couple of personnel and maybe alignment adjustments.
The students here at Springville jumping, making the press box here shake and rattle.
This press box has been here forever. It should be fine.
Here's a 3rd and 3 play. Here's Webb going on the other side. Tried to be pulled down from behind. Finds a way to break free. Bubba Rupena was pulling it on the jersey and just couldn't slow him up.
Great second, third effort by Webb that time to pick up the first down. It was 54. Had his jersey that time, Sam Dawn. He just was able to fight through that arm tackle and then a couple of others pick up the first down.
And timeout here on the field, and it will be Spanish Fork will use the timeout here with 1:20 to go. That's their second. They'll have one left here in the first half as we take a look here at an opportunity here for, when you look at Springville and the job that head coach Willie Child has done, Chris, sixth, maybe a 7th season here, 47-23 entering this year, takes over the program following Scott Mitchell. The job that Willie Child and Scott Mitchell has done with the Springville program has gotten them much more consistent, to the point where they're competing now every year. They're a team mentioned as a team that could make the semifinals. Preston Parish there on the other side, again, bringing stability to Spanish Fork, not to the point Springville is yet with their program, but definitely sending it in the right direction.
Yeah, and Preston Parish, I believe, was the 3rd coach in 3 years, so there was a lot of changes. Anytime you change head coaches, it changes philosophies, changes formations, terminology. So that's hard on kids when they're having to learn a new system every season. Not to mention, every coach has their own philosophy in the weight room and those things. So it's good to see Preston Parish in his 3rd season and bring some stability to this Don's program.
Peyton Murphy back to throw on first down, being chased from behind, breaks free, and will just be escorted out of bounds here by Spanish Fork. And that will bring up second down coming up here for Springville. And Peyton Murphy hasn't had the time to throw downfield much here in the second quarter.
Yeah, and great job by Murphy at getting out of bounds and stopping that clock, because it looked like he was gonna go down in the backfield. And it's probably forcing Springville to use one of their timeouts.
Red Devils with 3 timeouts left here as the lights are coming on here, and here in Springville, this non-region game. Springville 1-0 after beating Dixie. Spanish Fork looking for their first win after dropping one to Ridgeline last week up in Logan. Back to throw with some time. Murphy steps up, throws the out route, has his man. That's Jaden Church on the catch, and Church will get to the 35-yard line. And that's like one of those X factors. We haven't called Church's name very much, Chris, but one the coaches talk pretty highly about here at Springville.
Yeah, great catch by him, and great job of Moore forcing him into the middle where he had help. Brings up a huge 3rd down for Springville as they want to get, tighten this game up before the half, because Spanish Fork's offense has been on point tonight.
They'll bring up a 3rd and 5. The Red Devils using their first timeout here on Spanish Fork 17. Let's take a quick moment here to thank our sponsors for making these broadcasts possible here. We got the Tony Basso Auto Group, Lance Wilson State Farm Insurance, MVP Sports, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, 2 Jack's Pizza, McKell, Chris Jansen, and Wise, Attorneys at Law, and then Prime Mortgage Lending. We thank them for making these broadcasts possible, and our entire crew here tonight at Springville High School, where we're set and ready to go for a 3rd and 5 from the 35 here. The Red Devils looking to try to score before the half. Murphy back to throw, being chased, rolls out, looking downfield, has a man. That's going to be complete. And I believe That is Jaden Church again, so back-to-back receptions for Church and a first down for Springville with 54 seconds to go here in the first half.
Yeah, great job of Jaden Church finding, getting between the linebacker and the cornerback on that side that time and finding a hole in the spot. Peyton Murphy did a great job of keeping that ball alive to find Church.
Be first and 10, ball on the 19-yard line of Spanish Fork. The Springville Red Devils in the prime mortgage lending red zone here, looking to try to see if they can score before the half. Murphy back to throw with some time, looks over the middle, diving and trying to pull it in, but it's going to hit the ground before Clayton Johnson can pull it in. Johnson last week, 8 catches, 121 yards, and 2 scores for Springville, has been kept quiet here tonight in this one.
Yeah, and both those scores came late in that ball game. We'll have to see what the penalty is here as well.
We'll see. They're starting, it looks like, to get ready to march it off. It's going to be a hold against Springville.
And Springville's done themselves no favor tonight by having multiple penalties in big situations.
The mental mistakes tonight hurting the Red Devils here in their home opener.
And Spanish Fork, when they kicked that field goal, they also kind of shot themselves in the foot a little bit as they kept having different encroachments.
Instead of first and 10, it makes it first and 25 from the 34. Pressure comes backside. There's a completion on the screen to Church. Church will be brought down. They're right around the 28-yard line.
It's the old wide receiver screen. I can tell you for a fact Springville's been running that play for 20-plus years.
Boyack on the tackle there.
Recognize that one right away.
Okay, that's good to know, Chris, you know. As Chris, you're a Springville alum, right?
Yeah.
So back home, how's it feel?
Feels great. 20-year reunion. We're doing the, I guess, apparently we're doing the homecoming stuff, but I'll be with you that Friday night. That's my promise to you, Ryan. I will not be here at Springville High.
I'm touched. I'm touched. If we ever play my high school, Chris, I'll be here for you.
All right, perfect.
42.8 to go before halftime. A nice 24-14 lead here for Spanish Fork. The Dons in a position here early on where you talk about the kind of opportunity this can be to put together this kind of a half early on, and the reason why I say half is because you never know what can happen in that second half.
Yeah, you never do, and you know it'd be huge if Spanish Fork can take a 10-point lead, especially against a team in a higher classification that was predicted to win the region championship.
Back to throw. Murphy steps up, looking over the middle, looking end zone, looking for Johnson, and he got it within 3 defenders for a Springville touchdown.
A great catch by Johnson that time, as he is 6'4" and showed all of it as he got up there to catch that ball.
A very dangerous throw from Peyton Murphy, Chris, but he puts that one right on the money and right in between 3 Spanish Fork defenders there for the Springville touchdown.
Wow, and Johnson just got up there and got that as we saw it on the Tony Basso replay.
Here's the extra point, and it's through there for Brody Taylor, and a big touchdown before the half for Springville. Cuts the lead down to 3 with 34 seconds to play here in the half. A 24-21 lead for Spanish Fork. Now it kind of switches back to Spanish Fork, Chris. Do you play for points here with the way you've been able to get a one-on-one matchup?
No. I'd probably hand the ball off to Morley, see if he can break a tackle. I mean, I might pitch it to him out to the side a little bit because he's done a great job of cutting back and forth. So I would probably do that and see if he can't, break a tackle. He's got big play ability. We've seen that tonight as well.
We'll take a look here at an update from Maple Mountain. The Golden Eagles are looking to try to end their a losing streak that goes back to November of 2016, and they're up 28-6 on Uinta. 2 minutes to go in the second quarter there. So looking pretty promising just down the road. The Maple Mountains need to win tonight over Uinta.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, it's very odd that a team goes from the semifinals one year to not winning a ball game. So I expect a lot more things out of Maple Mountain as they're probably a little more mature this season.
Here is the kick, which will go through the end zone as Corbin Harrison watches it go away, and now that will bring out to the 20-yard line. 34.8 to go here in the first half. A nice lead here for Spanish Fork, and like you said, Chris, probably a good opportunity just to try to run it, take it into the locker room with the lead, and get the ball started.
Yeah, you know, and I would definitely hand it off to Morley and see if he can break a couple tackles and do that. You know, and if you get maybe down to midfield, maybe take a shot then.
4 wide receivers here for Spanish Fork. Man goes in motion. Here's Morley. Cuts through the middle, now jumps it outside. 30-yard line. He'll go out of bounds right around the marker. There is a penalty flag. However, back around the 18-yard line as Polson knocked him out of bounds, but this one probably may be coming back here.
Yeah, it looks like it will be coming back, and wow, these Springville fans are crazy. Every time the play starts, the stands start moving as well. This press box been swaying all night.
And so this will be a penalty against the Dons, which will move it back here, and they'll mark off probably close to 10 yards. I believe it was a holding penalty.
Should take it back to the 10.
And it will move it back to the 10. It'll be first down and about 20 here from the 10.
And at this point, you might consider taking a knee.
Springville only has 1 timeout, so it's not like they could call timeouts to get the ball back.
Right.
Swenson from the shotgun, or here from the pistol, and Morley, the deep back, here gets the call right up the middle, and Swenson pulls it, drops it off here to Dallas Iera, who turns the corner, and he'll be pulled down at the 19-yard line.
That was a very different take on the option that time, but it was able to get, you know, solid 9 yards. That might be something for Spanish Fork to work on some more, maybe show later on in the game. It definitely faked me out.
And that will end the first half here from Springville. We will head to a break here at the end of the first half. It is Spanish Fork 24, Springville 21. You're watching high school football here on Spanish Fork 17.
I definitely recommend the Driggs team. They're amazing.
Hi, my name is Greg Driggs. I'm the local manager for Prime Mortgage Lending, where our motto is find a path to yes. Stop by our office today on Main Street and let us help you get into your brand new home.
Wild Mustangs. They're supposed to be one of the most gentle creatures in nature.
State Farm knows that for every one of those moments, there's one of these. That's why more people save money by combining their home and auto with State Farm.
Call State Farm agent Lance Wilson today.
Nobody plans on getting in an accident, but if it does happen, you can rely on the expertise of Mike McKell to protect and fight for your rights. Specializing in personal injury law, Mike McKell is the attorney you need. Contact Mike at McKell, Christiansen, and Wise.
Well, back here at halftime on Spanish Fork 17, a 24-21 lead here coming up for the Spanish Fork Dons, as they have packed those far bleachers there, and a very happy fans right now for Spanish Fork as the Dons take the lead here into the locker room here at Springville as we wait the halftime festivities here at Springville. But Chris, when you really take a look at this first half, an opportunity here for both teams, and we've had a kind of what we maybe didn't expect, and that's an offensive shootout.
Yeah, we have, and also I've seen we've had 3 plays of 40 yards or more, resulting in touchdowns in this ball game. So it's been action-packed, hard-hitting, but a lot of big plays downfield, especially of the pass variety.
It'll be interesting to see here what happens as we're going to have drill teams from both Spanish Fork and also Springville. And looks like they're going to be combined together here, and we will get ready. Chris and I will step aside here as we will have the drill teams from both schools here on Spanish Fork 17.
These young ladies put in a lot of hard hours all summer long. They look fantastic. We appreciate their work. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome on the field the cheerleading squad from Springville High School. Awesome job. Once again, the cheerleading squad from Springville High School. Now it's a good time to go get a hamburger and a scone. You're down there getting your scone, buy yourself a Red Devil flag. Support your SHS PTO. They're just 25 bucks. Show your loyalty.
Well, 8 minutes on the clock here at Spanish Fork High School as we get ready here to conclude the halftime festivities. We'll take a break on Spanish Fork 17, and when we come back, we'll talk about the first half. We'll check some scores also from throughout the area. That's coming up here on high school football on Spanish Fork 17.
Hi, welcome to 2 Jack's Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to 2 Jack's Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet? MVP Sports is the #1 source for sporting goods in Spanish Fork. Football, soccer, all the fall sports, we've got you covered. Check out our new custom t-shirt builder. Design at home and we'll build it for you. MVP Sports, 72 North Main in Spanish Fork.
I definitely recommend the Driggs team. They're amazing.
Hi, my name is Greg Driggs. I'm the local manager for Prime Mortgage Lending, where our motto is find a path to yes. Stop by our office today on Main Street and let us help you get into your brand new home.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Need a new car or truck? The Car Guys has the best selection of used vehicles at the best prices in Spanish Fork. The Car Guys know their automobiles to get you the best car for your needs and your budget. The Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
Wild Mustangs. They're supposed to be one of the most gentle creatures in nature.
State Farm knows that for every one of those moments, there's one of these. That's why more people save money by combining their home and auto with State Farm.
Call State Farm agent Lance Wilson today.
Nobody plans on getting in an accident, but if it does happen, you can rely on the expertise of Mike McKell to protect and fight for your rights. Specializing in personal injury law, Mike McKell is the attorney you need. Contact Mike at McKell, Christiansen, and Wise.
Well, the second half, the full moon is coming out, the clouds are leaving, and boy, kind of a full moon kind of really sums up our first half here at Springville High School. Ryan Pickens alongside Chris Hurst, as really when you take a look at it, Chris, the full moon full of offense, and that's right now the offense has been in full effect.
Yeah, and the scoring started out fast and furious as we got a camera guy there.
There's Spencer working so hard up there right now as he gets ready. You know, Chris,
he has no idea he's on camera, does he? Oh, there he is.
You can wave to us, Spencer. How are you? As everybody gets ready to go. It's really something, Chris, we just can't really show up and just do what we do without our wonderful crew here. They're right above us here, and, you know, they're working hard tonight, and they're braving the elements. We're in a nice, closed booth, and boy, last week with that wind, boy, they braved the elements out there with that wind.
Was it pretty windy last week? I was still thinking it was the preseason and on vacation. But it was at Petco Park, though, watching the Padres play.
Well, I think that, that will make one person on our crew, our director, very happy in the truck to hear that you were with the Padres last week.
Yeah.
Maybe a little jealous, too. Who knows? But we'll take a look at it here. When you take a look at this first half, Chris, back and forth kind of a... Well, I'll tell you what, before we talk about the game, let's talk scores throughout the region here. I think you and I were looking at some scores here. Let's pass along a few important ones here. How about American Leadership Academy? They get it done against Layton Christian, 49-25. Bingham against East going on tonight. That could be a preview of the 6A state championship game. That one all Bingham. The Miners up 21-0 on East. Payson taking care of business against Carbon, 28-10. We'll see the Lions in just a few weeks in region play. And Salem Hills, they're taking on Desert Hills. I guess that's kind of maybe the Battle of the Hills. I don't know.
The Battle for the Hill.
But Salem Hills leading 10-7. That one going on right now as well. And, of course, Maple Mountain taking care of business up the road against Uinta. So some very interesting kind of fun scores here. That's the fun part about the non-region play, Chris. You get some very exciting games like this in non-region.
Right. And Orem is actually at Idaho State University, where they'll be playing Century High School out of Idaho. So curious to see how they do. That one starts at 8:30. But yeah, a lot of exciting scores, games, and it looks like Region 10's been representing well tonight.
One game we don't know, we haven't heard a score from, is Timpanogos and Mountain View. That kind of battle there going on up in Orem tonight. Should be a fun one up there. I believe that one's being played at the Bruin Bowl. Which should be kind of fun. They have new turf there at Mountain View this year. They put in turf over the summer. So
very nice.
Fun.
It's a fun place to watch a game because you're up on a hill and the field's down below. It gives it a nice little closed atmosphere where you don't usually have that bowl-type fill at most of these high school stadiums.
We were there a couple years ago when Spanish Fork opened, I think 3 years ago there, and we were broadcasting that. You remember that bunker kind of thing there? It was kind of a fun thing. I was thinking about that the other day. I was looking through some pictures on my phone and remember taking some pictures that night from the bunker there.
Right.
But let's jump into the first half here. Let's take a look at some things right here. As we really talked about it, we weren't sure what kind of offensive showing we would get from both these teams, Chris, and boy, were we wrong, because both teams came to play offensively.
Right, yeah, in that first quarter, Springville started the scoring off early when Murphy found Hillstead for 59 yards on the first drive, and they took a 7-0 lead. Spanish Fork countered with a 20-yard field goal from Red to cut it to 7-3. And Jacob Moore recovered a fumble, which was huge, creating that turnover. Spanish Fork started with the ball in plus territory, and that drive was capped by a Morley run of 16 yards. But Springville would come back in the second quarter, take the lead, when Webb absolutely drove the ball down and ended with a 4-yard run to give Springville a 14-10 lead. Then Swenson found Conway on a little deep pass that time to take the 14-17 lead. That was a 43-yard pass. And then Swenson found Irie for a 39-yard reception in the end zone to take a 24-14 lead. And right before the half, Murphy to Johnson. Johnson jumps up at the end of the end zone there to cut the lead to 3. And that's why the Dons have a 24-21 lead here at Springville High School.
It's been a game of offense as Springville has just retaken the field, and Spanish Fork entering the field as well. They'll put 3 minutes on the clock here for halftime. But, Chris, let's go back to our Triple T heating, cooling, and plumbing keys to the game here, and let's kind of do a halftime report card here on this, because really, when you look at Spanish Fork and you look to this opportunity here, in this 5A versus 4A matchup, while it may not really seem like there's a big jump between the 5A and 4A classification, this is a big thing right now for Spanish Fork to be up by a field goal coming back for the second half.
Yeah, especially if you see how the teams were trending. Spanish Fork lost the first game the last few seasons. They've struggled to make the playoffs. They did make it last year, but Springville's had 3 consecutive years where they've made it to the semifinals or finals of their classification, and last year they lost to Lehigh in the semifinals, so they've been a program on the, at the top of the mountain, and Spanish Fork's trying to get there. So if you were to ask me before the game who would win, I'd probably said Springville by 14, 20 points. So credit Spanish Fork for coming out here to battle. And they looked very improved, especially against the run. They struggled one drive against it where Webb just got loose. But other than that, Spanish Fork has struggled against the run, but I've seen a lot of improvement in that area tonight.
It'll be very interesting to see here as we get ready here, we get closer to the second half here on Spanish Fork 17. Be interesting here if we go back to our Triple T heating, cooling, and plumbing keys to the game here, Chris, because when you really take a look at it and you break this one down, one of the biggest ones was you looked at it and you said, okay, you have to contain Clayton Johnson, and really, when you look at it, he wasn't really much of a factor in that first half outside of that touchdown. That one play really was the one there that kind of hurt, was back-breaking for Spanish Fork.
Yeah, the other one was they needed to find a way to score points. You mentioned that, and then limit the mental mistakes. And they've done a great job. There was that one drive where they had to settle for a field goal where they had a couple of infractions. But outside of that, I'd say they've made a lot less mistakes than Springville, and that's part of the reason they have a 3-point lead here. Now in the second half, they have to, continue to put points on the board and then find a way to, when Springville goes deep, see if they can't bat some of those balls down, because that's where they've gotten beat there, especially on that last play, the most memorable one right before the half, where Johnson was in between 3 guys and was able to make a huge catch in traffic.
Well, and this week's not the only exciting game we have here on Spanish Fork 17. Next Friday night, we're back home in Spanish Fork. It seems like the few times we're going to be in Spanish Fork here in the next few weeks, but we're back at Spanish Fork High School. Crosstown rivalry football. Spanish Fork and Maple Mountain, both teams could come in to that one after a win potentially, depending on how these 2 games end up finishing. And that's a big game for bragging rights. Again, another 6A versus 4A matchup.
Yeah, and you're right. That's a 5A versus 4A matchup with Maple Mountain being the 5A team, but I'd throw the classifications out the window, especially when you have these games where kids potentially went to the same elementary school. They go to the same camps. They played City League ball against each other and those type of things. So it should be a lot of energy next week. And if you can't make it out of the game, for sure tune in here, Spanish Fork 17.
And if you can't tune in live, catch the replays on youtube.com/Spanish Fork 17. You can also catch the live stream on sfcn.org. And we are ready to go for the second half. The students are jumping in front of us, and we're just about set and ready to go here for the second half as we are underway here. This one will go and be returnable for Iera from about the 3-yard line. Straight ahead, tries to get it outside, and Iera dropped at about the 16-yard line. And that is where the offense will start this drive here for Spanish Fork and Parker Swenson. I don't think you could have asked Chris for a better first half from Parker Swenson, but boy, I tell you, you got it in that first half for your Spanish Fork.
It was pinpoint accurate. It was moved well in the pocket, avoided pressure, and led this offense to those 24 points. Hit between him and Morley. That very impressive play as Morley showed his agility in that first half.
Kimball Morley will be the deep back here for Spanish Fork on 1st and 10. And they'll throw this one out in the flat. That is complete. And out to Eli Davidson, Noah Conway, number 8.
And there had to have been some sort of missed coverage because nobody covered Conway. We know Springville's always traditionally gone man-to-man, and they were well off, and a great job of Swenson or the offensive coordinator recognizing that. Maybe that's something they saw and talked about at halftime.
It'll be 1st and 10 from the 33-yard line, pistol formation for Spanish Fork. And it will be Swenson who throws this one out there on the screen pass there to Kimball Morley. And Morley will pick up maybe 3 or so there on first down to that far side of the field. Not really a designed screen that you would normally see it, but really just kind of a bubble route there with the running back.
Yeah, just a little swing pass that time and throwing a little behind Morley, but once again, he's done a great job of using his athleticism to make a catch and get upfield.
2nd down and 6, ball on the 37-yard line right now with 4 wide receivers. Conway goes in motion. Here's Kimball Morley, tries to make a cut, and he's going to be dropped and brought down. Isaiah Webb, number 20, has been all over the field offensively and defensively tonight for Springville.
Yeah, great tackle by Webb as he is able to come from his linebacker position and wrap him up. You don't usually want to go that high because sometimes you can take a ride, but he used his power and athleticism to bring down Morley.
It'll be 3rd and 7 here for Spanish Fork. They haven't been in a lot of 3rd and longs tonight. We'll see how Parker Swenson handles this one here. They need about the 42 to move the chains. Swenson pressured, throws over the middle, has a man. That is complete out to Iera into Springville territory to the 47.
Wow, what pocket presence that time by Parker Swenson. He knew he was going to get hit, and he stood in there and threw the ball in traffic to Iera. Comes up with a big grab that time. Great concentration on both those guys' part.
One of the big adjustments, we haven't seen Spanish Fork huddle. They've been hurry up, looking over the sideline, and it seems to be working tonight here against Springville. Here's a throw, this one quickly out into the flat to Iera again, who makes the catch for a gain of about 2.
A quick pass that time gets 2 yards. Looked a little bit out of rhythm, but with the pressure Springville was bringing, Swenson needed to get rid of that one a little bit earlier than he wanted to.
So here you can see Spanish Fork looking over the sideline, and then kind of some of them looking down at some wristbands here to figure out everything coming here. 4 wide receivers, again, man coverage. Springville looks like they may be coming. Swenson steps up in the pocket, has his man. That's going to be close to a first down, and that is complete
Trey Lofton.
To Trey Lofton, number 3.
First time we've called his name, but he's been a contributor over the years, especially on the defensive side of things.
Does a nice job there in the middle. I think Jaden Church getting in there on the stop for Springville. 1st and 10 from the 38, 9:17 to go here in the 3rd quarter. The opening drive here for Spanish Fork. The Dons trying to see if they can extend their lead out. Currently leading 24-21 here in the 3rd. Iera in motion. Pressure comes. Swenson throws this one batted away and almost intercepted as Getting there was number 92. That is Sione Kolomalu, number 92, getting there. And, boy, he almost had a gift and had plenty of real estate in front of him.
Yeah, and then actually, was that him that deflected that, or was that Polson? Either way, a great defensive play by the Red Devils and great pressure disrupting the timing of that play by the Red Devils.
2nd and 10 from the 38-yard line. Here with 4 wide receivers, and Swenson throws this one high and through the hands there of his intended receiver. That was number 7, Dakota Conway, and that one goes incomplete, brings up 3rd down.
Yeah, and that was that pass was put in the only spot that his receiver could get. It was a little high, but when you're throwing it in traffic like that, you'd want to put it where only your guy can, and Swenson did a great job of it that time, but it brings up a huge 3rd down and 10.
3rd down and 10 here for Spanish Fork. Their second 3rd down attempt here on this drive. They converted the first one. We'll see what they do here. Swenson back to throw with some time. Steps up. Now he's going to look to run. Needs about the 29. Breaks a tackle, and breaking that one tackle there may have got him the difference between being 4th and short and getting the first down.
Yeah, and the Springville defender did a great job of helping him get that first down as he pushed him forward there. That's number 51. You got to make the tackle, though, and your momentum's going that way. Who's not listed on my roster for Springville.
Bring up a 1st down and 10 here for Spanish Fork.
Classic Springville.
Driving to the 26-yard line. And here's again that swing pass that Chris mentioned earlier. Just trying to get it into the hands of Morley and let him make a move. And he'll dance his way outside for a couple to about the 25-yard line. Maybe the 24 at the final mark. But no more than a gain of 3 on 1st down there for Kimball Morley.
Yeah, you get Morley in space, and we've seen him do a great job of breaking a couple tackles. But I think that's forced Springville to loosen up the coverage a little bit with the linebackers.
A nice opening drive using lots of clock here by Spanish Fork.
If they can come away with 6 points, or so I guess 7 points on this drive, it would be huge.
Swenson ready to go. Back to throw. Steps up, rolls away from the pressure. Now has to dance away. Now will just take off to the 20. Steps out of bounds inside about the 15. They'll mark him out around the 12. The 15, it looks like.
And Swenson did a great job of recognizing the pressure, seeing that nobody was open downfield, and then getting upfield and out of bounds to pick up the first down.
They'll mark it looks like officially the 14. I was watching the official here towards the Springville sideline move back and forth. Looks like they'll settle on about the 14-yard line. 1st and 10. Conway goes in motion, and here is Kimball Morley, and this time he's wrapped up back at the line of scrimmage.
Was that Ammon Key with the tackle that time? He came in a hurry.
Bring up a 2nd and 11, a loss of 1 for Kimball Morley. The lights taking almost full effect here at Springville. A nice comfortable breeze blowing here on a Friday night for high school football. Noah Conway in motion. They get it to him there on the sweep, and Conway is going to lose a yard or so, and he's met by a whole host of Red Devils as Springville does a nice job defensively there, Chris, of making Conway go sideline to sideline, really allowing time for extra defenders.
Right, you need those extra defenders to bring Conway down, and that was a little creative play, but there was just no blocking to that far side of your screen.
3rd and 12 for Spanish Fork. They need to get to the 4-yard line to convert a first down. 4 wide receivers. Swenson back to throw with some time. Looking over the middle. That went in and out of the hands. Incomplete. Almost intercepted. Frustrated there was Jaden Church. And that one just hit him right in the breadbasket. Instead, it's 4th down, and I believe that's going to bring out Spencer Red for a field goal try.
Yeah, and I'm sure Coach Parrish is grateful that he dropped it, so now they have the opportunity to try and get 3 here. This will be around, what are they setting up at? About a 34-yard field goal attempt.
From the left hash.
33.
And Spencer Red's kick is up, and it is no good. They just missed it short. And that was probably about the end of his range right there, and a big stop if you're the Springville Red Devils there. Kind of the hold you needed with that kind of a drive that takes about the first 5 minutes of the second quarter off the clock.
Yeah, they took some time off. It possibly worn down the Springville team a little bit, but if you're Spanish Fork, you got to get Springville off the field. You cannot let them sustain those long running drives that they like to have in the second half. That's where they put teams away.
And with it's only a 3-point ball game, so you have to think right now that you're going to have a whole bunch of different plays available right here for Springville. The whole playbook right now, no need to really rush, and they'll go in the I formation on first down with Isaiah Webb, the deep back. And Murphy back to throw. Pressure from behind. He's dropped. The ball comes loose. It's going to be picked up and recovered by Springville. Falling on it was number 65. That's Ryder Peterson, the starting tackle, able to fall on it. A big recovery right there. Ends up almost a disaster for Springville. Instead, you lose 7 yards. That's a 2nd and 17.
Yeah, great job by Trafney of Spanish Fork, getting some pressure, knocking that ball away from Murphy, and Springville's got a long ways to go to pick up a first down.
2nd down and 17, I formation. Clayton Johnson in the bottom of your screen at home. They're looking for him on the deep post route, and that one just over his head and incomplete as Spanish Fork blanketing him in double coverage with Kimball Peterman and then also Zach Buse, the senior safety right there. And that's really what you want to do, Chris, that bracket coverage, one in front and one behind.
Yeah, and try and get that pressure on the quarterback like they did. And Springville usually leaves a lot of guys to block. They usually go I formation. They're not going to have both running backs leaving. They've always got that one tight end, except this time they're going to go 3 wide.
3rd down and 17, ball back on the 13-yard line. 3 wide receivers and the single back for Peyton Murphy. They need the 31 to convert here. There's the screen pass set up, and that's going to get maybe a yard or two, but then dropped immediately. It was Hillstead on the catch. His 2nd reception of the night brings up a 4th down.
His first one was a huge touchdown, but great job of recognizing the flanker screen that time by the Dons defense and not allowing for that wide receiver to block on that. And then they'll get the ball back, and they should have decent field position.
4th down and back deep. It's going to be Dallas Iera, and punting with his foot in his own end zone is Brody Taylor. Have to be careful with the snap here if you're Springville. It's a good one, and Taylor puts a foot into it from the 4, gets a good punt off. Iera on the return from the 44, makes one man miss, gets outside, makes the 2nd, still on his feet, and he's dragged down at around the 46-yard line.
That looked like that was a block in the back. I think Spanish Fork might have gotten away with one there, but they'll still end up with great field position due to that missed call. Great tackle by 34, as we can see by Colomolo on that.
And so it'll be 1st down and 10 here for Spanish Fork. An opportunity, if you can put these big drives together and you can really use some of that clock here, these are the kind of drives you need to have if you're Spanish Fork, right?
Right, yeah, if they can take some more time off. But I think the key is you got to start putting some points once you get in that red zone.
Morley tries to turn the corner, gets across midfield. He'll be brought down around the 48-yard line here. A nice pickup, about 5 or 6 on 1st down.
You'll take that on 1st down, picking up half of them. Yeah, and once they get down in that prime mortgage lending red zone, you got to capitalize. They didn't last time, but every other trip they've made, they've been able to capitalize.
2nd down and 5 from the Springville 48-yard line. Pistol formation, back to throw with some time, looking over the top, has Noah Conway, who reaches out with one hand and pulls it in. They're at about the 28-yard line. A heck of a play there from Conway, as right there, a nice Lance Wilson State Farm assist there to Noah Conway for keeping this drive alive and helping out his quarterback by hauling in the completion.
I mean, who needs a left hand when you got a right hand like that, I guess. Wow, great catch by Conway that time.
1st and 10, ball on the 28-yard line. That's one where 9 times out of 10 you may not make that play. Swenson pump fake, steps up, being pressured, rolls away towards the sideline, throws this one, and it's going to be incomplete. Looking there towards the sideline believe that might have been Noah Conway again. No,
he's got a cramp, it looks like. I can't tell if it's
I think that
Conway
is.
or if that's...
That looks to be Noah Conway, but hard to
no,
tell.
Conway's over there, so it's not him. It might have been Oldham. I'm not sure. Either way, he's got a little bit of a cramp there. And I think he came from the from out of bounds. I don't know if the official saw that, but I think he came from out of bounds back into play, so I don't think it would have mattered anyways.
That may be true. Looking around, that may be Trey Lofton, number 3. It's right in front of the Springville bench, so.
And it looks just like it's a cramp, so I don't think it'll be a serious injury. But when we play some of these games in August, we see a lot of these cramps. And, Spanish Fork, they warmed up, it looks like, at their own high school, bust over here right before the game, got loosened up. So I don't know if they've had the opportunity to hydrate properly. I'm sure they have, but.
That's one thing we saw a few times last week in the Maple Mountain Woods Cross game, and that was Trey Lofton, who will now run back over to the Spanish Fork sideline. We saw last week a few incidents with cramping. It's not quite as warm. It was still in the upper 80s or so at kickoff here at Springville. So it's something you have to, for probably the first 4 or 5 weeks, Chris, you have to understand with a cramp and how to treat it properly.
And usually that's just trying to stretch it out and getting a lot more liquid in you because you've just lost too much of that body fluid.
Second down and 10, ball at the 28-yard line. 3 receivers to the top of your screen. Here's that's Marco Williams trying to turn the corner, and Williams will get a few yards down to about the 25 and pick up 3 there on second and 10.
Now there's a flag down there. I don't know if it's a late hit on Spanish Fork or Springville. We'll see what the call is.
It was Carter Johnston, the linebacker, on the stop. And it'll be looks like early indications holding against the Dons, which will move it back here 10 yards.
And they'll replay. Is it going to be second down?
Be second down, so that will help Spanish Fork here a little bit. Have an extra down to work with. 4:21 to go in the third quarter. Ryan Pickens and Chris Hurst here at Springville High School, where it's Spanish Fork leading Springville 24-21. The first half full of offense, and so far the third quarter has been kind of a battle of the defenses, so to speak.
Right, yeah, no points scored so far. We're about 2/3 of the way through this quarter.
And now we're going to have a whistles blow after the snap. I don't see a penalty marker down. I think they're just trying to make sure everything got set right up. Anyway, looks like they're just maybe setting the spot better, had to check it. 2nd and 16 here for Spanish Fork. Swenson and Morley in the backfield here for Spanish Fork. 4 wide receivers for the Dons, 3 to the top of your screen, 1 to the bottom. Flag comes in. Swenson looks into double coverage, and I think he got it in there to Iera. It's going to be incomplete, though. But there is a penalty flag thrown in the backfield, and we'll see who it's against. And it's going to be looks like an illegal shift or illegal motion against Spanish Fork.
Legal shift, yeah, and 5-yard penalty. We'll see if, I think Springville can decline this if they want.
Early indications say they're not, now they just looked over, and I think they're going to decline it. And that penalty is declined. If you see that kind of incomplete, waving it off kind of sign, that lets you know that it's being declined by the defense. And it'll bring up 3rd and 16. A decision there by Willie Child in Springville, Chris, of saying, hey, 3rd and 16, they haven't hit us deep a ton tonight. Probably playing a percentage game right there.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of giving them 3 opportunities, they're going to try and limit it to 2.
Swenson back to throw with some time, looking one-on-one double coverage, and it's almost intercepted as it looked like the receiver Iera had to turn into the defensive back there, as it was Austin Mortensen, number 2, out there on coverage one-on-one, and that brings up 4th down.
Yeah, and also Ryland Polson was out there to help. Pretty good coverage. Springville's tightened up the coverage, and it looks like Spanish Fork's going to punt here, which is, if you punt it into the end zone, you only net 14 yards in this situation.
This is where, if you're Spanish Fork, you might miss Way Stanton a little bit with that rollout rugby-style punt, where you had that kind of run option mixed in, as it will bring up Caden Holt to punt. He's standing at his own 44. Holt's a former quarterback. Here with a pooch kick, though. Kicks it down to about the 10. Polson, I don't think, was expecting it. Picks it up and gets a couple out to about the 11-yard line, then gets dropped.
Great job that time by Spanish Fork playing the punt. Usually you see those a little higher in the air, but it was a little wobbly. Springville struggled with it there that time. So we'll see if Spanish Fork's defense can hold him here.
So now Springville would have to drive 90 yards into the end zone with 3:54 to play here in the third quarter. And one of these drives where, if you're the Red Devils, they definitely have it in them to drive 90 yards and score. However, it's been a challenge tonight to really sustain long drives, especially if they get any sort of a penalty. I formation, here's the give. Isaiah Webb, it looks like, on the carry, and Webb will get out to about the 13-yard line on first down.
Pretty good job that time by Spanish Fork's interior defense. They've done a great job of holding that line of scrimmage and being aggressive all evening, outside of, that one drive where Webb went crazy.
Second down and 7. Ball will be on the 13-yard line. 3 wide receivers, I formation. Here's the give up the middle to Webb, and Webb will get into the secondary there, and he'll have enough there for the first down. They'll blow the play dead. Finally, Webb wasn't going down there without a fight.
And it's tough to bring Webb down with one guy. We've seen that for sure, as he battles through multiple defenders there, and it takes 4 guys to bring him down.
It's a first down for Springville.
Second and 7, ball on the 13-yard line. 3 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Each team with 2 possessions here in the quarter. No points scored either way. Webb handling most of the carries there, as he has for most of the third quarter. And there's another carry out to the 26 for Isaiah Webb. Another nice pickup of about 5.
He's picking up 5, but there was been times where he was picking up 9, 10 yards a carry. So Springville trying to wear down this Spanish Fork defense. They'll do that by continuing to run the ball up the middle.
Second and 5 from the 26-yard line. Spanish Fork has not really allowed an explosion play from the running back position tonight. Here's a give straight up the middle again, with Webb again gets another carry, and he's been the workforce tonight. Last week, Springville used Tyler Kelly, Carter Johnston, and Ammon Kay quite a bit at the running back position, and it's pretty much been, for the most part tonight, Webb for Springville.
Yeah, now I wonder if, when Springville's going to go play action here and go deep on this pass, because Spanish Fork's had to respect the run. They've got 8 guys in the box constantly.
Here's the pitch outside, looking to try to turn the corner. That is, I believe, Tyler Kelly on the carry.
I don't think he got it.
As they kind of change out some power for some speed there. It's going to be 4th and 1 and decision time for Willie Child, but it looks like an easy decision. They'll bring out Brody Taylor to punt.
And it looks like, that's probably a good call. Swenson on that last drive looked to be forcing a lot of stuff, and Springville's coverage and defense has been playing a lot better in this third quarter as opposed to the first half.
Back deep for Spanish Fork. It's number 12. That's Jacob Moore standing in his own about 33-yard line. The punt is away. It's a nice line drive, returnable kick for Moore, who misplayed it. And the question's going to be, did he recover the fumble? It looked like he tried to attempt to make the catch, and they're going to give the ball, looks like, to Spanish Fork. Springville's thing is saying that he muffed it.
I thought he muffed it in real time, but we'll have to see if we can't get that on the Tony Basso card, guys. No replay.
And so right here, a 41.9. That's one that I'm sure the Red Devil coaches are going to look at in the film later on and see. It looked like he went up to catch it.
Yeah.
I was kind of like you. I thought for sure he mishandled the punt there. but the officials were down on the field, and Spanish Fork may have gotten a big break.
And maybe that's something I'll take a look at the break here in 41 seconds on YouTube and see if I can't figure it out.
First down and 10, ball on the 18-yard line. Going to go 4 wide receivers here on 1st and 10. Spanish Fork has to snap it at least one more time here in the quarter. Here's the give, straight up the middle, and nothing going there on 1st down for Marco Williams. As Kalamalu on the tackle brings up 2nd down and long.
Yeah, the fans here are starting to get into it. Great defensive play that time. And Spanish Fork, I think, can pretty much let it run out. And, oh, geez. We got a penalty here, and it's probably going to be on number 11, Harrison. Maybe it's on Springville.
The last thing you want is a negative play due to a penalty here. A long discussion here. Unsportsmanlike conduct against Springville. And that's going to go there, I believe, against number 16.
That was number 6, Church. He was chirping. Okay. So that'll give a 1st down.
Yep. 5 plus 1 equals 6.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chris. It's good.
Well, I couldn't tell if it was on number 11, Corbin Harrison, for Spanish Fork or Church.
So instead of 2nd and long, it's a 1st and 10. Final play of the 3rd quarter. Swenson, 7 seconds on the clock. We'll see if he snaps it. He will, and he'll throw. Steps up, rolls away from the pressure, throws in a double coverage. It's caught, and off to the foot race. Going inside the 20 and pulled down is going to be Dallas Iera, number 22, as he somehow comes down with it. And Zebel will take it down inside the 40.
He's Houdini with that catch. Looks like that'll end the quarter here as he gets down to the 10. Nice catch by Ieri.
That will end our 3rd quarter here from Springville. Spanish Fork back in the Prime Mortgage Lending red zone after the break. Dons lead the Red Devils 24-21 on Spanish Fork 17.
Hi, welcome to 2 Jacks Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to 2 Jacks Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet? MVP Sports is the #1 source for sporting goods in Spanish Fork. Football, soccer, all the fall sports, we've got you covered. Check out our new custom t-shirt builder. Design at home and we'll build it for you. MVP Sports, 72 North Main in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Need a new car or truck? The Car Guys has the best selection of used vehicles at the best prices in Spanish Fork. The Car Guys know their automobiles to get you the best car for your needs and your budget. The Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
It'll be 1st and 10 here for Spanish Fork from the 12 as we're set and ready to get the 4th quarter underway. Kimball Morley on the option play there, and Morley is buried in the backfield here. And Morley will lose about 3 there on 1st down, brings up 2nd and 7 here for Spanish Fork. The Dons moving quick here.
Well, yeah, and that was a huge catch by Area. I don't know how he caught that in between that bracket coverage that time. I thought it was intercepted.
One of those balls that you look at a quarterback throwing, you're going, oh no, because generally not a throw you want to make into double coverage.
Unless you were a Springville fan, you were going, oh yes, oh no.
It'll be 2nd and 13, Swenson, and there's a penalty flag that goes here, and I think by the early indications it looks like it may be going against Spanish Fork. We'll see here what the call's going to be. Illegal procedure here against Spanish Fork. Let's take a moment here on Spanish Fork 17. Let's thank our sponsors for making this broadcast tonight possible and all of our other broadcasts possible.
Yeah, we got Tony Basso Auto Group, Lance Wilson State Farm Insurance, MVP Sports, Triple T Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, 2 Jacks Pizza, Mikkel Christiansen, Wise Attorneys at Law, and Prime Mortgage Lending. Thank you for making this broadcast possible.
And that pass is going to be batted away as Swenson tries to throw over the middle, and that's going to bring up 3rd and 17.
A couple of miscues after that huge catch, and we'll see if if Spanish Fork can get a big pass here. They're kind of on the edge of that, out of the field goal range of red as well. So if they want a field goal opportunity, I think they probably got to get maybe a little closer to the 15 based on his last attempt.
It would be somewhere between a 35 and a 40-yard kick right now for red. And so you could potentially try it, but he didn't have the leg like Chris was saying on the first one. Swenson back to throw with some time. Throws that one high and incomplete. Looking for Iera over the middle. Mortensen right there in coverage, and that brings up 4th down.
And it looks like Spanish Fork's going to try it here.
So Spencer Red will come out. This one from the left hash here, closest to the bottom of your screen at home. And this one, Red will have to kind of angle to the right there, Chris, which may be a little bit different of a kick than he had from last time.
Yeah, and you might want to, I don't know, fake it with Conway. This is a 36. He's 1 of 2 tonight.
Snap is good, hold is good. The kick is short and well to the right. And there's
a penalty. It
flag.
might be running into the kicker or personal foul.
We'll have to see here.
Running into the kicker. It's personal foul kind, so that's a 1st down. Well, I don't know. They're 17 yards back, and the high school rules on this are interesting.
So we'll see here. The offense is coming back onto the field here for Spanish Fork. Personal foul. The 3rd time, I believe, tonight we've had the 4th personal foul. They had the hands to the face in the first quarter.
And that's absolutely hurt Springville and their momentum more than once tonight.
And the hard part with that, it gives it an automatic 1st down. They place the ball at the 10. It's 1st and goal, Spanish Fork, back in the Prime Mortgage Lending red zone. Swenson ready to go from the pistol. Gives it to Kimball Morley, trying to stretch it outside. He is met and dropped by Ryland Polson from his safety spot. And there's a holding penalty coming against the Dons. And all of a sudden, we had a relatively clean first half, Chris. But here in the second half, we've had a little bit different story.
Yeah, and that might be the officials calling it a little tighter, or maybe Spanish Fork's got a little bit of fatigue and starting to make some of those mental mistakes. Springville's defense has definitely tightened up the screws in this second half, but so has Spanish Fork's. We had quite the shootout in the first half, and it's been all defense here in the second half. It's kind of a little bit of Jekyll and Hyde feel to this ball game.
10:49 to go, 4th quarter. Each team with all 3 of their timeouts. Swenson from the pistol, Morley the single back, and they'll go play action, roll out with Swenson being chased from behind. Throws this one complete to Noah Conway, who makes one man miss, and he's brought down inside the 10. They'll mark it off to around the 6, maybe the 7-yard line. A good pickup there on 1st and goal from the 19.
Yeah, great job by Conway breaking a tackle, using his low center of gravity and picking up 4 extra yards.
That will make the 2nd down play a lot more manageable here, as you'll have 2nd and goal from the 7-yard line. Ready to go. Here's the give. Morley trying to get outside, cuts upside and gets down. There's a flag that comes in from the far side of the field, and this one appears to be a hold, but we'll see. We'll wait to get the official call from our referee, but here we'll see what it is, and it is a hold against Spanish Fork.
Multiple holding calls in goal line situations, and this is like the 4th play, but it's only 2nd goal once they got inside the 10.
You use a lot of clock right now. It's one thing you're doing with this drive if you're Spanish Fork. However, you're not winning any efficiency awards right now for trying to get it in the end zone, something that I'm sure head coach Preston Parrish will have a conversation with when they look back at the film on this one. 4 wide receivers here. Swenson will roll out to his right. Being pressured, steps up, throws this one out, has a man right around the marker. It's going to be short. It's going to be to the yardage marker for the spot there.
I said differently, he just barely got a 1 yard pickup on that play. Great job of Swenson, though, making something out of nothing as he was getting pressured that time by Kalamolu and was just barely able to get rid of it.
Corbin Harrison on the catch there for Spanish Fork, number 11. That brings up a 3rd and goal from the 15-yard line. You're in a lot more manageable field goal range here for Spencer Red. But right now you have to be thinking touchdown after the penalty gave you a fresh set of downs. Looking over the middle, has a man to the goal line, touchdown, and there's Corbin Harrison, number 11, who made the catch before. This one, a 15-yard strike from Swenson to Harrison, and the Dons add to it with a 6 points on the touchdown.
Nice job beating the defender off the coverage there on the slant route. He's able to get in, and Corbin Harrison gets his first touchdown of the evening, and probably his career for that matter. Great job by Swenson putting the ball right where he needed to.
The tough part if you're Springville is you have to remember what kept that possession alive as Spencer Red puts the extra point through the uprights. That possession was kept alive by a roughing the kicker or running into the kicker penalty at the high school level. It gave Spanish Fork a fresh set of downs, and then they're able to find a way to capitalize. And now with 9 minutes to go in the 4th quarter, Chris, Springville finds themselves in a similar position that they were in last week, trailing late in the ball game, now having to play from behind.
Yeah, and what they ended up doing last week was going through the air quite a bit, and they Peyton Murphy found Clayton Johnson. So if I'm Spanish Fork, I'm putting bracket coverage. I'm doing everything I can to contain him and making sure he's not going to win the ball game for Springville. And also, I'd still be aggressive if I got the ball on offense for Spanish Fork.
Trey Hillstead and number 2, that's Austin Mortensen, will go back deep here to receive the kick when we get ready to go here. We're in the 4th quarter here on Spanish Fork 17, week 2 of high school football. Next week we're at Spanish Fork High School, where Maple Mountain will head across town to take on the Dons. That will be a 7 p.m. kickoff here on Spanish Fork 17, and our 3rd installment of 10, and we're almost, it's kind of crazy how quickly high school football goes, Chris. We'll be almost a 3rd of the way through the season when we get to next week's game.
Well, I'm assuming we're going to be doing some playoff games, but no, yeah.
Well, you never know, but the regular season, Chris.
Yeah, the season is flying by, and I'm looking back through Deseret News' archive to see when the last time Spanish Fork beat Springville. They go for the onside kick. Doesn't go far enough, though.
It doesn't go far enough. It's picked up and recovered by Springville right now, so the Red Devils will have really good field position right here. They'll start on the Spanish Fork side of the field here with this drive. An interesting decision there, and it looks like the last time Spanish Fork won, it was back here at Springville. You have to go back to Friday, August 24th, 2012.
Very today is August 24th as well, so 6 years ago.
Right here, Spanish Fork 24, Springville 14.
Yes, exactly. Springville with great field position to start this drive.
31-21, low snap, and rolling out, looking downfield. Murphy now pressured from behind, and he'll be dropped. He'll get a couple of yards by the end of it to bring up 2nd down.
And I think we're going to have a illegal hands to the face as they rip the helmet off of number 70 for Spanish Fork, Blaine Bradford. Against Spanish Fork.
It's going to go against the Dons. First time tonight we've seen Spanish Fork get called.
Oh, they called it the wrong way.
Oh, there we go. Okay, I was going to say. And that will start to mark that one off. And those penalties, those personal foul penalties tonight against the Red Devils have just started to add up over the course of the ballgame.
Right, yeah. And they've had multiple, as you've mentioned, and that's really, every time you get a 15-yard penalty, that's more than 10% of the field you got to make up there. And Springville's done that multiple times, and a lot of it's been undisciplined play where they get frustrated. I think they were expecting Spanish Fork maybe not to give them quite the battle, although Spanish Fork the last 3 seasons has played Springville within a touchdown, so it's been even though Springville's been on the winning side, it's been a very close ball game.
It's 1st and 31 here for the Red Devils. Straight up the middle goes Peyton Murphy, and Murphy gets out to about the 39-yard line here. So as Trafney gets in on the tackle, you have to think if you're Springville that you're going to have to look to put the ball through the air at some point in this drive, because you don't want to run too much time off the clock.
Yeah, especially when it's 2nd and 27-ish. You got to eventually throw the ball, like you said. They're a long ways back, because that must have been a spot foul.
Would have been
the personal foul.
It was 15 yards from close to about midfield by the time they marked it off. Back to throw. Here's Murphy looking downfield. Pressured, steps up, throws this one short, looking for Jaden Church, and that will bring up 3rd down. It's really the coverage there with Spanish Fork just dropping kind of into a cover 2 look there, Chris. No options for Peyton Murphy down the field.
Yeah, and he did everything he could, and Rapena finally got to him and put the pressure on. But this brings up a huge 3rd down, and with 7:50, I don't, you're probably going to have to punt here, but at some point, down 2 possessions, you've got to, get some points if you're Springville. The clock's not on their side.
3rd down and 27, ball back at the Springville's own 39-yard line.
See if they blitz 3 or 4 this time.
Murphy from the gun, ready to go. Drops back to throw, steps up, pressured, rolls away. Now looking to pressure, throws this one, and it's batted away. Ben Boyack had that one in his mitts, but knocks it away. It brings up 4th and 27, and my guess is a no-brainer here for head coach Willie Child, but to punt.
Yeah, he'll have to punt, and then he'll have to rely on his defense to get a quick stop. They have all 3 of their timeouts, I believe, so the clock's not too big of an issue unless Spanish Fork has a drive that results in points or in a long drive. Then the clock starts to become a factor. And we've seen Spanish Fork on the first possession have the ball for 5 minutes. They didn't get any points, but they sure chewed up a lot of clock.
Dallas Iera, the deep man, back at his own about 26-yard line. Jacob Moore about 15 yards ahead of him there, about the 40. Brody Taylor to put a foot into it. And it's a good punt by Taylor. Iera going to go back on it, makes the catch on the run. Makes one man, picks up a block, tries to get outside. Has a blocker or 2 in front of him, still on his feet, and he'll be pushed out of bounds at close to the 40-yard line or so. Don't see any penalty flags, so a pretty good field position there, and a nice job by Iera.
Yeah, nice job of breaking a couple of arm tackles there, getting upfield, giving Spanish Fork great field position. Yeah, it's about all over if Spanish Fork can maintain a long drive and come away with 7 points here.
You have to think what Springville's going to do, Chris, is that man coverage on the end, 1 safety back deep, and just load the box with linemen and linebackers, and a safety probably as well. 1st and 10 for Spanish Fork. Back to throw. They just get it out to Kimball Morley. Let his athleticism work, and he's dropped by Austin Mortensen back at the 35-yard line. Mortensen will hit Morley for a loss of 4.
And that play was garnering first downs in the first half, and they've really queued up on that and bringing an extra defender and making sure tackles that time by Mortensen.
2nd down and 14 here. Under 7 minutes to go.
I think the wind's starting to pick up here as well,
which does not bode well for either team's kicking game. Swenson takes a shot, one-on-one deep, has a man, that's caught by Noah Conway, breaks free to the 20, to the 10, to the 5, touchdown Spanish Fork. It is Swenson to Conway for 65 yards and a touchdown, and that may have just put the exclamation point on the first win of the season for the Spanish Fork Dons.
Yeah, it came up with 71 yards to Conway that time, but either way, huge play, and Conway's one of those guys you can't bring down with one guy, and it was very interesting, the coverage that time, as both guys kind of were in the same area, but Conway comes up with the catch, and another touchdown pass for Swenson.
Spencer Red on for the field goal try, and this, or for the extra point, and that one is up and through. And with 6:35 to go in the fourth quarter, Spanish Fork now up 38-21 with 6:35 to go here in the fourth quarter. We'll take a moment here on Spanish Fork 17 to thank our sponsors for making tonight's broadcast possible here throughout the high school sports season.
Yeah, we've got Tony Basso Auto Group sponsoring the instant replay, Lance Wilson State Farm, sponsoring the assist of the game, MVP Sports, who will, at the conclusion of this game, name the MVP Sports Player of the Game. Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing that had our keys of the game. 2 Jack's Pizza, just because they have awesome pizza. Akel Christiansen Wise for a great defensive play. And then the Prime Mortgage Lending, who is sponsoring our Red Zone tonight. Spanish Fork did not need the red zone that time. They didn't get their mentions, but 71-yard touchdown pass by Swenson to Conway, and his 4th touchdown pass of the night for Swenson. And to all 4 have been to different wide receivers tonight. Sharing the love tonight here in Springville.
And that's a great sign for Spanish Fork. If the offense can get going here, they'll kick it short here. The ball is going to be muffed. It's loose, picked up by Springville, however. And Ammon Key recovers it, and he's brought down, however, around the 31-yard line. And now a lot of pressure goes to the Springville offense, Chris, as really the Red Devils need a touchdown, and they need one quick.
Yeah, and they can't just hand the ball off to Webb every time. They're going to have to really go hurry up here with 6:28. They're down by 17, which means they have to score 3 times.
So now we'll see here what happens as Peyton Murphy will come out here for the Springville offense. Clayton Johnson has 1 touchdown tonight, has a couple of maybe other catches, but has been really held quiet here. We'll see if he comes alive here in the final 6:28. Looks over the middle, has a man out there. That is, I believe, caught by Austin Mortensen. Nope, that is Jaden Church on the catch. Church was in the quarterback competition with Peyton Murphy, but now he moves out and plays wide receiver, and Church there with a nice catch.
A nice catch and beautiful throw by Murphy as he threw it in between 3 guys in the only spot he can get it. Now that's dangerous in certain situations, so we'll see if Spanish Fork, as they're dropping back sometimes 8 guys, if they're able to pick one of those off.
1st and 10 from the Spanish Fork 45-yard line for Peyton Murphy and the Red Devils. Murphy all by himself, back to throw with some time, hit as he throws, and this one incomplete, looking over the middle. Once again, I believe looking for Jaden Church over the middle.
Yeah, and Springville's offensive line is not giving Murphy any time to throw. Great job by Spanish Fork, especially number 41, Trafney, blitzing that time. However, their line's got 5 guys on 5v4. You should be able to hold them for at least a couple of seconds.
2nd and 10, ball on the 45-yard line, as right now the Springville Red Devils trying to score quickly. They'll empty out the backfield and go 5 wide receivers here on 2nd and 10. Murphy back to throw with some time. Screen pass set up. Here's Hillstead, and he's dropped by Boyack and slams the ball down there in frustration. And that will bring up 3rd down at about 6 or 7. But most importantly right now, the thing you don't want is you see that clock continuing to move here. 3rd down and 8, ball on the 43-yard line. 5:35 to go, 4th quarter. Red Devils do have all 3 of their timeouts.
They do indeed, and wow. Huge play here, 3rd down and 8. Spanish Fork's been blitzing 3, sometimes 4, and they've been getting plenty of pressure on Murphy's. We got a penalty here.
And we'll see which way it's going to go. My guess is against Springville, and it will be, looks like an illegal motion or substitution against the Red Devils.
This is a little bit of a shocker developing here.
Illegal participation.
This was one of the teams in Springville, Chris. They were projected to win Region 8. Oh, and that was including still might. I mean, plenty of season to go, obviously, but this is one of those preseason games, Chris, that you're going to probably look back on if you're head coach Willie Child. You're going to learn a lot about your team right now based off tonight.
Yeah, and you might want to make some decisions based on this game on who's going to play, who's not, and then maybe some different strategies and formations.
There Murphy goes incomplete, looking again over the middle there for, I believe, Hillstead, and that will bring up 4th down and 13 right here, and they need to about the 35-yard line to convert a first down.
Brings up 4th down.
And this is huge for Springville. They need some points on this drive. They can't afford to give Spanish Fork the ball back, especially near midfield.
Ball on the Spanish Fork 48-yard line. They're going to go with 3 wide receivers. Johnson to the top of your screen. Doubled it in bracket coverage. Steps up, looks over the middle. That is going to be complete, it looks like, to the 35-yard line. And it's going to be close to the first down. Buse on the tackle.
They're going to give it to him. He's got 1 yard, yeah.
But right there, Murphy with time to throw, and he gets that one in there.
Yeah, and I think it should have been pass interference, too. Looked like Zach Buse got there a little bit early.
There's, I believe, Polson, the tight end, on the catch, and it's 1st and 10 to the 34. Back to throw with some time. Looks over the middle. That one knocked away. Buse again reading it and came diving in, but it goes incomplete. Brings up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, 2nd and 10, and I like Spanish Fork's defense. They blew one on 4th down, but they're doing a decent job of getting pressure on with 4 guys and being able to drop 8 or 7 back in coverage, sometimes 8.
2nd and 10, ball on the 34-yard line. Peyton Murphy, the quarterback, from shotgun. Ready to go here, back to throw. Steps up, now pulls it down, rolls away from some pressure. Looking to create, throws it deep in a double coverage. It's in and out of the hands of Clayton Johnson. He got his hands on it, but couldn't come down with it in the end zone. Was in double coverage, Chris, and that would have been a spectacular catch from Johnson had he come down with it.
Yeah, it was, and it was really good coverage downfield as there was 2 guys in the area. Pretty good pressure on Murphy that time. They blitzed 5, and Springville has 3rd and 10 here, trailing by 17. I think this is a huge confidence win for Spanish Fork if they're able to hold on. They pretty much can play with anybody in the 4A ranks, or should feel that way after this game.
3rd and 10, Murphy to throw, has this one complete inside the 20, and that again is going to get it into Austin Mortensen. And a good job there by Murphy, as he again had the time and had a good pocket to throw.
Yeah, great job finding the guy that found a hole in the zone. That time it happened to be Mortensen, and so 1st down for Springville.
1st and 10, ball on the 19-yard line, and now we got an official's timeout here, and Spanish Fork wants to use their first timeout with 4:17 to go in the 4th quarter. Problem, my guess, is probably to give that defense some rest. A lot of guys with hands on their hips right now.
Yeah, get that defense rested. You have 3 timeouts. You're not the team that's trying to come back here, so see if you can't get your guys rested to put some pressure on the quarterback or make a play in the secondary. And, the thing you got to do is, I hate saying play not to lose, but yeah, pretty much contain Springville's offense, and then when you get the ball, be aggressive, pick up a couple first downs, and you can win this thing, which we have to go back, as we mentioned earlier, 6 years to win Spanish Fork won, and they won here, was it 28-14, August 24th, 2012. A lot of energy here, though, from both sides. Spanish Fork showing well, their student body, and Springville's packed this place as always.
1st down and 10, ball on the 19-yard line right here. Looking to try to see if Springville can try to get some points back here. Murphy back to throw. Pressure comes. He gets away from it, throws it up, and it's incomplete. Ben Boyack, I believe, it was Ben Boyack again, number 36. Had that one go in and out of his hands to bring up a 2nd and 10.
And what Springville is just dodging bullets. Is near sacked that time by, I believe it was Davidson for Spanish Fork, and then nearly throwing an interception. The pressure's starting to get a little bit to Murphy here.
He'll go 3 wide receivers. We haven't seen Springville run the ball on this entire possession. The students are jumping again here at Springville. Murphy pressured, and this time dropped back in the backfield. Is getting there was number 2. That's Eli Davidson getting in there on the sack for Spanish Fork.
And yeah, and Davidson got there last time, just was unable to finish the tackle. This time he's able to get the sack, and what a huge play as it brings up 3rd and 17.
And that clock continuing to run now. 3:42 to go in the fourth quarter. Springville will take a moment to huddle here and get organized. Ready to go. Murphy now spreading the field here. 4 wide receivers and a tight end. Back to throw with some time. Pressure comes again. Rolls away from it. Throws it up. Has the man in the end zone. Overthrew him, it looked like. And it's going to be incomplete. And it was open. But again, just that throw on the run just puts it out of the reach there.
Yeah, that was Hillstead who had that big touchdown pass to start or touchdown reception to start this game. Just a little bit outside.
And now it's going to be 4th and 17 right here. This could be ball game on the line for Springville.
3:13, they got to score 3 times, which means if they do score here, it's onside kick for sure.
Clayton Johnson at the bottom of your screen at home. Keep a very close eye on him right here. Murphy back to throw, looking, throws it high, has it complete. It's not going to be enough for the first down, though. It's going to be short. It was a good completion, a good attempt. It will be a turnover on downs. And now with 3:04 to go, it's really up to the Spanish Fork offense, Chris, to see if they can run the clock.
Yeah, and Springville has, I believe, all 3 of their timeouts. So with that said, Spanish Fork needs to pick up probably 2 first downs in this situation to run out the clock, depending on how the timing and everything goes. 3 for sure should do it.
So we'll see here what the play call. I would imagine you're going to see a lot of Kimball Morley right here. Just use that athleticism and see here. Biggest thing you don't want here if you're Spanish Fork, any sort of a turnover.
Right, the clock's your friend.
Here's Morley on first down. He'll be dropped in the backfield. And he'll lose about 4 there on first down. The clock will run, but you didn't want that kind of a negative play.
Yeah, you didn't, and unfortunately, I believe that was Marco Williams, and he didn't get anything going there. So Springville elects not to use a timeout. I would try and use those as fast as possible. Time is valuable when you're down 3 scores.
2nd down and 15 right here after the loss of 5 by Marco Williams. 3 wide receivers ready to go, and they'll give it here up the middle. This time it's Kimball Morley. Jumps us back to the inside. Now again another cut into the open field for a first down out across the 30 to the 35. And there's one of the first downs that Chris talked about, and a penalty flag comes in late.
That's probably going to be on Morley.
And Kimball Morley there does a nice job there, Chris, on the run, but not what you want to see there at the end of the play.
Yeah, probably, unless it's on. No, Spanish Fork's backing up, so it looks like it's on Morley. He's awfully excited, and that clock will start running here pretty soon. It'll be under 2 minutes, and if you're Spanish Fork, you can get just a couple more of those first downs on the ground. This thing's all but over.
So they'll sort out the penalty here. Right here, is there some conversation going on, pointing to different spots on the field. So I'm thinking they're trying to figure out exactly where they're going to end up spotting the penalty right here. I think it's going to end up being a first down for Spanish Fork, and then they'll just move it back based off what the decision is.
It's a legal block in the back.
And then a dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct against Springville. And then an unsportsmanlike conduct against Spanish Fork. So that's why the long discussion there, trying to sort out what goes where.
Just put the ball somewhere. Let's get going. Holy cow, that's a lot of activity going. The personal foul should be offsetting, so I'm guessing the only thing they really need is the block in the back, and it looks like it'll be 2nd down, 3rd down.
They're going to move it back here to the 20.
Oh, no.
And then they're going to mark off one penalty, then mark off the other one. And then
go back 15
and
more.
Then they're going to mark off each one.
Well, he's getting his exercise out. He's got his Fitbit, getting his steps. Ooh, that is 5 yards short of a first down. So I think that brings, we replay 2nd down.
We'll see here. I'm looking to see, and that's what they put on the dial-a-down on the other side of the field. It's 2nd down.
All right, so since it was a block in the back, we're going to replay second.
Scoreboard showing 3,
well,
but
we got to go off the marker.
It's going to be 2 there on the, looks like at the far side of the field. 2:06 to go here in the fourth quarter. Swenson ready to go. Here's the quick sweep, and this one going nowhere. Iera brought down in the backfield. And that is going to bring it Kolomalu, I think, on the tackle there. And that's going to bring up 3rd and about 10 here. And so Spanish Fork now just seems content to use the clock. Willie Child still not using those timeouts here with 1:40 here to play in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and that sweep play where they hand it or toss it to the wide receiver sweeping, that has not worked tonight. That's the second time they've tried it with no success. And the clock's under 1:25. Springville's probably just looking to get this one over and worry about next week.
Next week, Springville, I believe, heads to Skyview to take on the Bobcats up in Logan. And now we have penalties fly here, and I think we're going to have a delay of game potentially here against Spanish Fork. I think the Dons just wanted to try to use all that clock that they could, and it will be a delay of game and a 5-yard penalty.
So 1:11 to go. Assuming Spanish Fork runs it and Springville uses a timeout, they'll have just over a minute to score 3 times unless Coach Willie Childs just is going to let this one end.
Spanish Fork heads home. They'll have their home opener next Friday night, Maple Mountain, 7 o'clock kickoff. That one will be here on Spanish Fork 17. Here, 1:11 to go here in the fourth quarter. Here's Kimball Morley on the carry, jumps it outside, and Morley will get stopped short there at the 15-yard line, and that will bring up 4th down now in about 8 here with 1:02 to go.
Springville elects to use a timeout here.
Their first timeout right now. We'll see here what happens here on 4th down, as I think Spanish Fork is going to probably run on the punt team here. If you take a look at Springville, Chris, and you're getting ready for Skyview next week, what's the message you're sending to your team if you're Willie Child?
Yeah, you just got to cut down those mental mistakes and play a little better defense. I mean, their offense looked fine, but anytime they'd get moving, there was multiple personal fouls, unsportsmanlike conduct penalties, holdings, formation shifts. They had a couple of those in the first half. They've got to clean up those penalties. Both teams did a good job, though, of not turning it over. I believe there was only 1 turnover in this ball game. So I think for Springville, they need to clean up some of those mental mistakes, and then also find maybe a couple of guys that want to step up and maybe play on defense this season.
It's still a long road to go if you're Springville to getting into games where when Region 8 play rolls around, that's when those games will begin to really count on your schedule and really count towards having an opportunity to try to see here what can happen. If you're Spanish Fork now, you got a quick opportunity to recover and get ready to go for next week, as there's a good punt that just kind of dies off in the grass. It will be picked up at the last minute. Clayton Johnson on the return makes one man miss, and he's dropped at the 45-yard line. And this is where Spanish Fork now, Springville will have the ball with 50 seconds to go here in the fourth quarter, looking to try to see if they can somehow get in the end zone.
If not a whole lot of time here, so obviously you're just going to go deep, and I don't even know if there's enough time to win this thing. It would be a huge miracle. So if you're Springville, you're probably just trying to make this game look a little more respectable for the papers tomorrow. Do people use papers?
The internet?
The internet, there we go.
Blogs, social media.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, though, Chris, you know.
I'm dating myself.
1st and 10 from the 46-yard line. Here's the give right up the middle here, and that might be as Isaiah Webb on the carry has enough for a first down. And with that play call right there, that pretty much probably sums up Willie Child waving the white flag.
Right, Springville go no huddle here, see if maybe they can get some more points. But yeah, the time's starting to roll here.
36 seconds to go here as Murphy throws this one out towards the sideline. It's caught, and then Jaden Church, gets out of bounds there. Pickup of about 7 or so on first down.
Close to another first down, brings up 2nd and 3, and if you're Spanish Fork, You're just waiting for that 30.3 seconds to tick off the clock here so you can celebrate a huge win against your town rival, Springville.
Be a big win for Coach Preston Parrish as he tries to continue to put some stability into the Spanish Fork program. Stepping up and drops this one off. That's complete as Isaiah Webb makes the catch again. If you look at Preston Parrish and his tenure, Chris, this may go down as one of the bigger wins in program history. Going on the road to a 5A team in Springville, who is probably one of those top-tier teams at the 5A level. You go on the road and win. This week 2 of the season has to be a good program setter for Preston Parrish.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be the biggest win he's had so far as a coach.
Murphy goes double coverage to the end zone, I believe looking for Clayton Johnson, but that one incomplete, and that's going to bring up a 2nd and 10 here.
Yeah, he had some big wins last year. They took that Salem Hills was a pretty big victory to allow them to take 2nd place in region and host a home playoff game. So those two would probably be the 2 biggest wins he's had so far in my mind.
2nd and 10 from the 25, 14.8 seconds to go in this one.
Got a personal foul of some sort on the Dons, which will take the ball to the 10.
Which will also give Springville an automatic first down. Have to be excited, though, for Peyton Murphy. Being a junior, you have to be excited to see what he can do here because, really, I mean, he's shown tonight that he's got a lot of the skill set needed to play quarterback.
Yeah, he's got a really good arm, has a lot of accuracy, and then also he's great at eluding defenders and buying himself some extra time.
We'll take a moment here on Spanish Fork 17 to thank our sponsors for making each and every broadcast possible. We have MVP Sports, 2 Jacks Pizza, Lance Wilson, State Farm Insurance, Mikkel, Chris Jansen and Wise, Attorneys at Law, Triple T Heating, Cooling and Plumbing, the Tony Basso Auto Group, and then Prime Mortgage Lending. We thank them for making this broadcast or many other broadcasts possible. We want to remind you, you can catch replays of this one on our YouTube page, youtube.com/Spanish Fork 17. And next Friday night, Chris, we got another good one cooking. Spanish Fork, Maple Mountain, crosstown rivalry football. You and I have been there when some exciting things have happened with those two.
Yeah, I've been there when there's been some really exciting things, and some of it might have made it on ESPN. I don't know.
First down and 10, ball on the 12-yard line, back to throw with some time, looking to the end zone, has a man out there that's caught, and I believe that is going to be Trey Hillstead in the end zone for the 2nd time tonight. And a nice job there. Sorry, that is going to be Rylan Polson on the touchdown. And a nice touchdown there for Springville late in this one. And there's that good arm, Chris, that you were talking about when it comes to Peyton Murphy.
Yeah, that was just an out pattern that time. He put it right on the money where it needed to be. Polson catches it, and the score will look a little more respectable for the people that surf the internet.
The extra point on here for Springville. The bad snap's going to be picked up, and it's going to be dropped in the backfield as Zach Buse comes up on the tackle right there. And just a mishandled snap by the holder. And with 8.7 seconds to go, this one will pretty much come down to Spanish Fork probably getting the ball back. Potentially an onside kick here coming here from Springville. As you think of it, you don't have an opportunity in a live game situation very often, Chris, to practice an onside kick.
Yeah, and I don't know if you do an onside kick or not. There's only 8 seconds. And sometimes you just want to get out of here. So we'll see. But yeah, great win, as you mentioned earlier, for Preston Parrish in this program. He's been building up to this, and this team's got a lot of talent on it. I think they'll be able to possibly compete with Orem, although Orem's going to be a tough team to beat this season, but they have them at home.
That's a lot of talent coming back. That's the last game of the year, I think, slated for October 19th or something. Chris, you have the book right there.
I got a binder. Hold on. October 17th. It's a Wednesday night, last game of the season, right before a fall break for these students.
Here's the onside kick. Looks like it's coming. Good hands team on. Spanish Fork late getting somebody on. And there's a good one. Zach Buse going to come up with it for Spanish Fork. And now the Dons, I can imagine, can come out, take the victory formation, and get out of here with a W. Improve to 1-1 on the season, and have an opportunity to potentially be 2-1 after next week's game with Maple Mountain.
Yeah, they should have a lot more confidence in their offense. They really struggled against Ridgeline, and so to put up 38 points here tonight is very impressive.
1st and 10 from the 45. Victory formation, it appears, coming on here as Parker Swenson will head under center. 8.7 on the clock. Swenson takes the knee and will hand the ball to the official, and that one will end it here. Spanish Fork has come on the road to Springville and gotten a big 38-27 victory right here to move to 1-1 on the season. We're going to take a break here on Spanish Fork 17. When we come back, we'll have our final thoughts, and we'll have our MVP Sports MVP of the game. You're watching high school football on Spanish Fork 17.
Hi, welcome to 2 Jacks Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to 2 Jacks Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork, or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet? MVP Sports is the #1 source for sporting goods in Spanish Fork. Football, soccer, all the fall sports, we've got you covered. Check out our new custom t-shirt builder. Design at home and we'll build it for you. MVP Sports, 72 North Main in Spanish Fork.
I definitely recommend the Driggs team. They're amazing.
Hi, my name is Greg Driggs. I'm the local manager for Prime Mortgage Lending, where our motto is find a path to yes. Stop by our office today on Main Street and let us help you get into your brand new home.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Need a new car or truck? The Car Guys has the best selection of used vehicles at the best prices in Spanish Fork. The Car Guys know their automobiles to get you the best car for your needs and your budget. The Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
Wild Mustangs. They're supposed to be one of the most gentle creatures in nature.
State Farm knows that for every one of those moments, there's one of these. That's why more people save money by combining their home and auto with State Farm.
Call State Farm agent Lance Wilson today.
Nobody plans on getting in an accident, but if it does happen, you can rely on the expertise of Mike McKell to protect and fight for your rights. Specializing in personal injury law, Mike McKell is the attorney you need. Contact Mike at McKell, Christiansen, and Wise.
Well, a happy night here for the Spanish Fork Dons as they come out on top with a 38-27 victory over the Springville Red Devils. A game, Chris, where it looked like there for a while we were going to have just an offensive shootout back and forth, which we had in the first half and we kind of had in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, no points were scored in the third, but yeah, some fireworks, especially for the Spanish Fork fans as they come up with a couple of big touchdowns in the fourth quarter to go away winning this game.
It was one of those games where kind of a crucial point in the season for Spanish Fork after taking a tough loss, a hard-fought loss at Ridgeline a week ago, losing that one 18-10, and coming back this week, you're on the road. It's a rivalry-type atmosphere. It's a 5A school, a lot on the line here, and you come in and you have to play well, really, in order to get a W. We talked about a lot of those in the keys to the game tonight, and boy, Spanish Fork kind of hit all those keys tonight and hit them well.
Yeah, they did, and that's part of the reason they won. And the other thing was that I think they found some stars. Parker Swenson was spot on his throwing. Looked like he had a lot of confidence. Kimball Morley running the ball, cutting, and then after a cut, releasing into the middle of the field with a lot of speed, a lot of momentum. He looked good. The defense looked a lot better against the run than we've seen in the past. We've seen Springville just be able to run the ball on Spanish Fork at will. They did at times, but there were other times where they really struggled. And credit the coaching staff for getting these guys ready, having a great game plan, very balanced game plan, and winning this ball game. And they deserve all the credit as it's a huge victory tonight.
We can take a look at our MVP sports, MVP of the game, and really, you mentioned it, with the way that Parker Swenson played tonight, Chris, that was the sort of performance that you need from your quarterback week in and week out, spreading the ball around, making the accurate throws, and making a lot of the smart decisions right there, and letting his players around him work.
Yeah, he did. He threw 4 touchdown passes to 4 individuals, and some of those were very deep balls. He threw 71-yard pass to Conway, and for example, and other than that, he maybe had 1 or 2 ill-advised passes into coverage, but he was putting the ball where he needed to be, and that's why he's our MVP sports player of the game.
So congratulations to Parker Swenson and the Dons. We got another fun one coming up, though, a week from tonight. We're over at Spanish Fork High School's crosstown rivalry football here on Spanish Fork 17 as we get Spanish Fork and Maple Mountain, both of those programs, in a position right here where they can try and get their season going in a positive direction. Maple Mountain, I believe, if that score held up from earlier, would improve to 1-1. So would Spanish Fork, an opportunity to build momentum as they get into those final couple of preseason games.
Yeah, and a lot of these kids know each other. They've maybe been on the same Little League team in Spanish Fork or known each other from camps during the summer. So it should be a very intense game, and there's been some intense battles that I've witnessed as these two teams have battled. But tonight on our channel, all the props go to Spanish Fork and this huge win over crosstown rival Springville.
It should be a fun one. We want to remind you that you can catch replays of this broadcast and our many other shows and broadcasts on our YouTube page, youtube.com/SpanishFork17. Also, catch a live stream online at fcn.org and hit the live stream button on the top of your screen there. For our entire Spanish Fork Community Network team and my partner Chris Hurst, we're signing off tonight where Spanish Fork defeats Springville 38-27 here on Spanish Fork 17. Have a great week, and we'll see you next Friday night for more high school football on Spanish Fork 17.